Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. This is really cool, man, because we love doing our Weird Job Wednesdays. It's become the longest running bit that we do on the show.
Yeah, and before we do that, I want to remind everybody our free Bad at Business Beer Fest is November 23rd. And then Sofa and Suds, the Sanford couch races are the next day. The Beer Fest is free.
Yeah, totally free.
You show up at noon to get your sample cup. We got 500 gift bags from all our sponsors who basically they underwrite the Beer Fest.
Yeah, they give little premiums, little gifts, little things for us to give you. So the first 500 through the door with their photo ID, obviously 21 and up, you get a gift bag.
We also have live music starting at 2, and around 2 o'clock, that's when the pouring starts. We've got over 30 different breweries and brands giving out free samples.
Yeah, it's not just beer. There's going to be some cocktails out there, some White Claw out there, some seltzers out there.
We also are raising money for Yellow Brick Road Foundation. They will be selling full pint glasses branded with the Beer Fest logo and Yellow Brick Road.
And all of that money goes to YBRF.org. That is the Yellow Brick Road Foundation. They do a lot of great work for families and children that suffer from congenital heart defects.
Literally 100%. Like Daniel and I just went, like Eric just ordered the glasses for Yellow Brick.
Yeah.
So
we pay for that, so all the money goes right back to YBRF.
Yep, and that way they sell their full pour for $20 and all that money goes straight to them.
All right.
Let's do some Weird Job.
All right, now we got a new song, and I tried to go in sort of like a Hawaiian theme. I tried to give it a little of a because you'll get. Okay, here we go. Here's the Weird Job theme for today. Please hold.
Tom wanted to do a bit. He called it Weird Job Wednesday.
Kind of Don Ho.
Dan really liked it. Tom said that's bull.
What?
Another Weird Job Wednesday. What do you do and what is your job? Are you neat, are you tidy, or are you a fat slob? You make lots of money and you sit up in your tower looking down on all the people that are working by the hour. Weird Job Wednesday. Just another Weird Job Wednesday. Oh yes, it's Weird
You're going to love the
Wednesday.
thank you, Tom. Just wait for it.
Just another Weird Job Wednesday.
And you're like you got like a little Les Paul, little electric guitar of the time. Wait for this thank you, Tom.
All right.
Thank you, Tom.
Right?
All right.
Yeah.
That's my favorite one.
I feel like the thank you, Tom, should be like your text message on your phone or something.
Well, on Zoom with us right now for Weird Job Wednesday, we've got Brett Bull. How you doing, Brett?
What's going on, man?
Hey, I'm doing great. Tom and Dan, you had me at hello and free beer.
Yeah.
Let me know. I can roll in some troops for your big event with sounds to me like a very, very worthy cause.
Oh yeah. You've never been to our. It's as far as we know. Like honestly, we never say this because we've done the research. But nowadays when you do research, there's no way to be thorough because I don't know if you know this. The internet's broken. So like we think this is the only free beer fest of its kind where people just show up with an ID. Of course, you have to be of age, but it's really just to get the word out about all this delicious Florida beer that we have.
I love it. And when's the date again?
That's November 23rd. And then the next day, we call it like our Sanford weekend.
Yeah.
The very next day, we do the Sanford couch races where we get a bunch of teams together and they push couches on wheels through the streets of Sanford. We've been doing this for the couch races are 12. This is the 12th year now.
I mean, I
and
feel
the
like
Beer
we're pushing
Fest is 10.
15 years on
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah,
Like a
it's
lot of
crazy.
this stuff. But yeah. And you're a pro. Thank you for even asking that. My God.
Yeah. This guy is.
Yeah, this guy's so good. I mean, Hula Brett, you're my new best friend.
Hey, bring it on, baby. Hey, Tom and Dan, it's an honor to be on with you. I am Brett Bull from Dublin, Ohio, and I made that transition with that nickname, Ohio Brett, OHIOBRETT.com. You can follow me on my website, ohiobrett.com. But Weird Job Wednesday, I'm so excited because I got a phone call about 5 months ago from the owner of the Hula Bowl college football all-star game, the Hula Bowl, that will be played in Orlando, UCF Stadium, the Bounce House. January the 11th, college football all-star game, the Hula Bowl, aired on CBS Sports Network, some of the best college players from all over America. We don't have Toledo playing Fresno State, Tennessee playing the Ohio State Buckeyes in a bowl game. So we don't have the fan bases, but we do have 120 players from all different colleges. The only teams we won't have representation for, this year they're going to 12 teams in the final playoffs. So the final 4 will actually be played right after our game, but in Orlando, January 11th. Breaking news that I wanted to share with your audience.
Yeah, let's do it.
Any of your listeners, any of your team that does the couch races or the free beer fest,
all the fat guys,
I can offer you a free ticket to the Hula Bowl. And we'll have a link and a will call there. We'll have a little live music there. We'll have maybe some of your beer sponsors want to have some food trucks and beer trucks, and we'll see if we can't get you 2 up front and do some tackle drills.
I think
Tom and Dan will be a great fundraiser.
They call me
Let's
Tackle Drill
fundraiser for the Yellow Brick Road.
Yeah.
Tackle drills. Tom and Dan on the goal line.
Hell yeah.
For $50, I'll pitch you the ball, and if you can break through them, you'll get a chance to win a trip, vacation, week-long in Hawaii.
I want to.
Tom and Dan and
Aloha
Brett will be at the airport.
We're doing this.
Put the lays on you. I think your producers will let you run with this promo.
We don't have any producers.
They all quit,
wild.
Brett.
They all quit, Brett. Like they're wild. So
It's just us left.
Like when you said like bring the whole Tom and Dan team, you're looking at it.
I want you to be our producer.
Yeah, I love this guy.
Hey, Coach.
You
hey,
have
Tom and Dan,
this
I got
guy's-
my ankles taped. I'm stretched.
Yeah, this
and
guy-
yes, I got a call from the owner of the Hula Bowl because I've been
Mr.
doing
Bowl?
fundraising.
He
Oh,
is
you're
Mr. Hold
Mr.
on, you're
Bowl.
Mr. Bowl.
Who's the owner of the Hula? Mr. Hula?
Mr. Hula?
Mr. Nick Logan.
Nick
Mr.
Logan.
Nick Logan is a very special man. He's also the owner of Cornerstone Card Processing, but he got the rights to the Hula Bowl in 2006. And unfortunately, that pro stadium in Hawaii is falling apart. So we're thankful. I'm thankful. Orlando's thankful. Because Ron DeSantis said, hey, Florida's open 4 years ago, and the game got moved to Orlando.
It did.
You see, this will be the 4th year, the college football all-star game, the Hula Bowl, hulabowl.com.
So put on your lift boots. We're going to the Hula Bowl, baby. Yeah,
Hold on, Brett.
Okay, well, pause for a second, Brett.
I swear.
Tom has a question. I love your energy. You're
killing it.
You are hula crazy.
And also, you are made for TV.
Yeah.
You've been doing TV spots for a while,
look
right?
at this guy.
Because
He's got the shirt. He's got the football, freshly shaved, stretched, ready to go. Pink
We're
is
ready.
gonna
I got my ankles taped. I have had the Ohio Brett Show for God and Country and Sports. Airs on 2 national streaming networks every Monday night in that precious locker room, 8 to 9 Eastern Standard Time. I bring guests into that locker room. I can't wait to bring you 2 studs on, and we'll light them up. It airs on Brighteon and the Patriot Party News, the Ohio Brett Show for God and Country and Sports. But today, we're talking Hula Bowl because I got the weird job.
Okay, so let's talk Hula Bowl. So is this, am I correct? Okay, go ahead, Tom. Your question for Brett. Yeah, sorry.
I have to unpack what Brett just said the past 5 minutes. I think he offered some Hawaiian vacation.
Yeah, he offered us all a chance.
The raffle. Somebody's going to get a chance to win the Aloha 1st and 10 raffle. I'll share that in a minute.
Yeah. Okay,
we'll get to that in a second. You're getting ahead of yourself here. You're getting ahead of yourself.
Sorry.
Typical Haole.
So,
isn't that what they call them? That's what they call white people, right?
But we're invited in.
Yeah, typical Haole.
So, Brett, let's talk about the Hula Bowl was in Hawaii in the islands for, I guess, since it started in the 40s.
Yeah.
And then it just recently moved to Florida. Let's talk about that.
You got it. This is the 79th playing of the Hula Bowl, college football all-star game. What a great opportunity for these invited players to practice and interview for a full week in front of NFL scouts. Over 400 NFL scouts come in, Canadian League, European, and they get a chance to be up close and personal in front of these athletes the whole week. And yes, it got moved to Orlando because the stadium was falling apart, And our amazing owner, Nick Logan, had to make the tough decision because you can't bring all-star players from Ohio State, Florida, Florida State, Purdue, Toledo, Fresno State, and play in a high school field. So Orlando, the beautiful UCF campus, that stadium is the host stadium.
Yeah, and a lot less ice on there because the whole stadium's falling apart because Dog the Bounty Hunter had to get in there and start kicking around ice pipes like crazy in the Hawaiian Stadium. He's pushing them all out of there, and he's giving them cigarettes and dropping them off and stuff. That place is just a haven of drugs and bad hombres.
So, Brett, I'm curious to also, it's probably better for the players because, like, scouts and other influential people.
Easier to get to.
Way easier to get to. Like, the last time I went to Hawaii, it was a 12-hour flight, 6 hours
the
to
last
California.
time I went to Hawaii. Never been to Hawaii. Never been to Hawaii.
And it's like, that's 12 hours. Then you got to fly back and the time change, I'm sure. So, like, it is probably a better opportunity for especially all the college kids playing. And then explain the Hula Bowl, too, because there's also other players from other leagues too, right?
Well, we do have representation throughout the years. And again, on Weird Job Wednesday with Aloha Brett representing the Hula Bowl, yes, we have representation from all over, but most of the players are from our American colleges, all of them, not just the big boys. There are some gems, those special ones that the NFL already has their eye on, and they get a chance to come in. Division III, Division II, a couple junior college guys, and they get to play against the big boys in practice all week and then in the game this year, January the 11th. In Orlando, UCF Stadium, January 11th, the Hula Bowl, hulabowl.com.
Hey, Brett, we do every Weird Job segment. We have a special guest. His name is Snarts, and he asked us a question. Snarts, you have a question for Brett?
Hey, man, a question for Brett, man. Hey, so with all this hula stuff, man, are there going to be girls out there with grass skirts on, man?
Oh, come on, baby. 90 minutes before kickoff, we have the most beautiful talent pageant. And yes,
talent pageant. All right, baby.
We're looking for a few judges. Our special guest here might be a celebrity judge.
I want to be a judge, man.
No, Brett.
Yeah, because you know what I want, man. I want to eat it.
Come on. Stop.
Oh, he's gone. Okay, he left. It's very bad.
Sorry, Brett. Brett, now, are you doing marketing? Tell us, like,
what's your day-to-day?
Yeah. What's the actual job?
It is Weird Job Wednesday. Weird Job Wednesday. So I got the call because I was blessed to be going, buckle up. In 2022, I was blessed to go to all 50 states in person.
What?
2023, God opened up a big door, all 50 states in person. I was doing my podcast show, Live from the Road, Ohio Brett Show for God and Country and Sports. And then I was on that journey to do it again, but I got that phone call from the owner of the Hula Bowl, Nick Logan, 5 months ago. He needed some help. So he made an offer for me to come on. My weird job is Director of Special Projects and an official scout with the Hula Bowl. And those special projects are corporate sponsorships, creative fundraising, and very, very important to the game day experience, creative ways to physically get people at the actual game. Because we don't have two colleges playing against each other.
You got to bust them in like
that beautiful stadium.
You got to bust them.
It's almost 50,000.
Yeah. No, we can get them out there, Brett. It sounds
we can
like
definitely do this.
Man, you have a lot of jobs here.
Yeah. He's got a lot, and I like the fact.
I got a lot of weird jobs.
I like that it's sort of unconventional, though. That you kind of like. Am I correct in that they're like you're sort of making your own job in a way, right?
Well, make no mistake about it that I am also on Team Jesus. So I encourage everybody to get in that Bible. I encourage people to get into that precious Bible because Proverbs 3, 5, and 6 tells us, trust, don't lean on your own understanding. Trust in the Lord. Don't lean on your own understanding and acknowledge him in every single way. I'm not a Bible thumper. I'm just a seed planter because I get to meet a lot of people that have never heard of Jesus, and I don't slap them with the Bible.
Hold on.
I just smile, and we get the football, and we do tackle drills.
That's my kind of Bible. It's the brown throwable Bible.
Hold on. Who's never heard of Jesus? Right?
We were talking about
trust me, buckle up. I've been to all 50 states at the local level. The author of confusion is alive and well in America. This great republic, all 50 states, border to border, coast to coast. We are uniting like never before. And sports and music. My ears were working when you said at your free beer festival there'd be some live music. I can't wait to introduce you to some of our musical acts that will be playing as part of the Hula Bowl fun activity.
Who do we got here, Brett?
Yeah, what do you got playing?
Buckle up, baby. We're going to have some very, I have been blessed to meet a lot of acts all over America. And we love all kinds of music, but I do love those home games. I do want to give a little shout out for Brady Bowl, BradyBohl. My son Brady will be leading the way. He just cut his first single with Nashville recording artist Billy Falcon. So you can look up
Billy Falcon, holy smokes.
Whatever it takes.
Oh, your son Brady Bowl cut his first album with
Brady Falcon.
No, Billy Falcon.
Wait, it's Brady Bowl and Billy Falcon, is that correct?
And they wrote a song called Whatever It Takes. It is going to be an absolute hit, whatever it takes. And I want to encourage your audience listening in Sanford and around Florida and all over America. I believe the aloha spirit breathes in all 50 states. And that aloha spirit breathes in Sanford. It breathes in Orlando. It breathes coast to coast. That's why I'm excited. I'm going to get stuck spending a lot of time in Orlando. So buckle up, you two. I can't wait to do some live with you two studs.
Yeah. Hell yeah. I don't even know what to do. I'm literally frozen in time right now.
Let's talk about the pageant, Brett. What's going on with the pageant before the show?
Yeah, tell us more about
game.
that.
90 minutes before kickoff. This is one of the great special projects that I'm so excited to be leading the way on behalf of the Hula Bowl team and our owner, Nick Logan. We have so many amazing pay-it-forward sponsors. If you're listening right now and you would be interested in a corporate sponsorship, we're only 60 days away almost from the Hula Bowl. So the pay-it-forward sponsor, whatever's easy in your budget. I know a lot of people can't do $100,000 and do a creative package where I can bring in Hula Bowl alumni in to speak in your town. But whatever's in your budget, $10,000, $5,000, whatever's easy for you, please contact me. Brett@hulabowl.com is my email. BRETT@hulabowl.com. And can you guys believe we have pay-it-forward sponsors stepping up right now because they want people to physically go to the game, and their sponsorship.
So,
we're doing a telethon show.
Is the pay-it-forward?
4 key areas.
Is the pay-it-forward? Am I correct?
We're working with Orange County Public Schools, so any elementary school, middle school, high school, and the colleges, the college students, they're going to have a free ticket waiting on them at will call. And many of us care. The second vertical is many of us care. Yesterday was Veterans Day. But I believe, Tom and Dan, you don't just wait one day a year to celebrate veterans.
Every day is Veterans Day.
We appreciate and celebrate veterans every day of the year.
We celebrate them
So
every day.
if you're active military or a veteran, thanks to Pay It Forward sponsors, you'll have a ticket waiting on you at the game. And then
every
the
day
other
is
two
Veterans
markets.
Day and Halloween and Christmas here.
The faith-based market, the churches, and those precious NFL alumni and former college athletes. Those are the 4 areas. Thanks to Pay It Forward sponsors, there will be a ticket waiting for you.
Antonio Brown is not precious.
Brett, and now what if me and Daniel want to sponsor the pageant?
Yeah.
Because I've always wanted to sponsor a pageant.
I want to host the pageant.
And then
I want to wear a tuxedo and bring the ladies out.
Well, we're going to have that would be something I do need to get authorized by my owner, but I do want you guys to smile because we are working with the fraternities and sororities, and they're partnering up. Remember, we're on campus at UCF. So we're doing some amazing things with that audience.
Put some grapes in our butt and run down the beach. Did you ever do that, Brett? You put a grape in your butt and you run down the beach, and if you drop it, then your brothers make you eat it.
I haven't done that fundraiser yet, but who knows? Maybe the Yellow Brick Road will let you guys do that at your free beer festival.
I think they would let us do that. I think they would let us, but that's just a regular old, the fun stuff that fraternities do.
So, Brett, when is the Hula Bowl again?
The Hula Bowl is live in Orlando. HulaBowl.com, January the 11th, 2025. Noon kickoff on CBS Sports Network. The Hula Bowl, January the 11th in Orlando, UCF Stadium. HulaBowl.com.
There you go.
Well, Brett, thanks so much
Appreciate
for
it, man.
taking the time.
Ohio Brett, now Hula Brett.
Yeah. We do.
Hey, we're making the transition, but Tom and Dan, in my closing segment, I want to encourage both of you.
Yes.
I can tell I'm working with a couple pros in the media. I get asked to do a lot of interviews all over, and I'm thankful for my Ohio Brett show for God and Country and Sports, but it's always an honor to be on air with some first-round draft picks.
Hell yeah.
This guy got the
that.
goods.
I appreciate that. Finally, somebody that knows how goddamn good we are. All right, I didn't mean the GD. I apologize on that.
Our last question, Brad, because we ask everybody, how much is old Logan?
Yeah.
How
much do you have to pay to buy the rights to the Hula Bowl?
Paint because
It's a big number, and we're working on a couple 3-year deals with national, international companies because the Aloha spirit breathes in all 50 states. And outside of Hula Bowl week, I will be working on behalf of the Hula Bowl in all 50 states, setting up speaking programs, concert experiences, and now, because I met you two studs, I may have to be doing some free beer festivals in all 50 states.
Oh, I love that. Oh my God.
There's no money in it, Brett.
Yeah,
That's the problem.
I don't think
Oh,
Logan.
you got the wrong guy. You need a director of special projects from Tom and Dan. I can help you out. I'll give you some free advice, and I'll waive the retainer.
And
He's
Brett,
gonna waive the retainer.
I mean, we don't want to say anything negative about any state here, but you've been to all of them, and all of them are not created equal.
No,
there's some real stinkers
There
out there.
There are a couple of stinkers.
Could you throw just the first letter of the states, just so we know what's the worst one?
Well, the Aloha spirit breathes in all 50 states, but if you did have to rank them 1 to 50, I know that number 1 for me is OHIO, the heart of it all. Ohio is the heart of it all. But friends, don't visit Ohio in the winter. Come to Florida, come to Texas, come to Arizona, and come with me. You can learn more about the Aloha First and 10 raffle, where the grand prize is a trip to Hawaii. But I always
You are
answer
an
the question.
unstoppable
I
albino
always
pink
answer the
robot.
question. The question was, number 50 would be Delaware. Number 50 would be Delaware.
Okay, Delaware. There it is. We
I
got the
knew
goods.
Delaware
We got the
stunk.
goods. We got the goods.
I knew it. All right, Brett,
Brett,
thanks so much, man.
Take care, man.
God bless.
Okay, I hung up on his God bless. That's bad luck to do that.
Oh, no.
I didn't mean to do that. That was interesting. That was okay. Let's talk about it. This is what we do, right? This is what we do. Let's talk. I didn't know what to do there.
I thought for a second, I was like, all right, we could just start going crazy right now.
No, I can't do that anymore.
And
I think that's a young man's
no,
game.
no. We started into it, and then you were right. He couldn't be stopped.
He couldn't be stopped.
He couldn't be phased by no matter
done
what.
it, he's done it before.
That's a pure professional.
Yeah, he's done it before, and he's had tougher rooms.
That guy's walked through
Fire.
the brimstone and come out of the other side.
He has seen it. That's why he's so pink, because he's been singed by the fire of the devil.
That guy's talents were forged in, like, he came from the bottom.
Well, he's your guy,
and
though.
talked his way to where he's today.
No, he's an unstoppable promotional machine, which is why Logan hired him. Like, he's like a Terminator. Like, once you said the Terminator, he's like Arnold in the first when he was like gonna kill.
That guy's promotional Terminator.
Yeah, he's a promotional Terminator. He's not gonna stop. That guy was not gonna stop. No matter what I said, I'll make a joke. He powered right through it. He started threw a Bible verse in there, threw us completely off. We were on tilt. He had us on tilt.
He did.
He's like, he went full Bible, and we're like, I almost cursed. He went full Bible, and I fell over. And I'm like, and he's like, I got him. I effing got him.
He saw us.
Yeah, he did.
Starting to
He's
F
like,
with him.
Stupid atheist. I'm going to knock a little Bible, and then we're like, and we got girly.
He got us.
Yeah, he triggered us with the Bible, and then we were like, and then he was like, I'm going to go in for the kill. And he's like, God, stab.
Yeah. I thought I was going to get him with the what's the worst state question.
No, my God. He's like, I'll do it. He already had Delaware Lodge.
Yeah, he already.
This guy. We got to talk to him
You
again.
could never.
I got to get him in person.
He did the equivalent. You know when you shoot the liquid blob Terminator T3.
Oh yeah. Then
the shotgun blast will just go through him, and it kind of like jogs him a little bit.
Yeah.
But he keeps running.
Yeah.
And that's what Promotional Terminator did.
He used the T-1000. He got us.
I mean, me and Daniel
I
got
didn't know what to
Snarks
do.
ready.
I did Snarks, and he was like, great, a puppet. I love puppets. I love God, I love puppets, and I love the hula spirit. I'm like, I can't do it. I gave him the full puppet. I gave him a blast. I gave him I gave him a blast. He's like, I like sirens. I love sirens and puppets.
Yeah, I was like, should we start taking callers? And I was like, this is not gonna phase him. He'll take the caller and be like, start talking God again.
Yeah, there's no phasing that.
You're right, and then that did disarm us because as soon as he brought that up, I was like, oh, he threw me off.
Yeah, he did throw us off, and then I put the camera on him, and then I got Snarts ready. I was gonna do a second Snarts, and then I'm like, well, why are you even wasting your energy? It's like when the aliens come and you just realize that the bullets aren't stopping the spaceship, and you just throw your weapons down.
So the funny part is like I was like, Hula Bowl, what is it? And then I was like, it's gonna be over here at UCF. And then I started looking at what it is, and it was just like...
It's a race war between the... It started as a game between the Islanders and other people.
Because they're like, we're better than any team that the goddamn Howleys can put together.
And they're kind of right. I kind of feel like Hawaiian people were made for football.
Have you seen Troy Polamalu?
Yeah, have you ever seen the way that Hawaiian fathers treat the talent pool there?
Yeah. They're real about God, too.
They are.
Yeah, they will... put that you can be tricked by anybody. A Howley,
they're so
a
good.
Mentally ill Howley will pretend to be some person like you marry her over the phone.
They are so good at football that they will fall in love with anybody.
You can trick them easily because they only know football.
They only know football
and God. And family.
Oh my God! That was rough.
And they know how to do the dance on the beach.
Yeah, the haka.
Yeah.
The haka.
Yeah.
We should have had Rex.
Gonna ask
Remember our buddy Rex?
Yeah.
We should have had Hawaiian Rex in here to help us out.
What is that genetics that makes those guys so damn strong,
fast,
and fast,
and
their power, their calves, giant calves?
And then I think it's like the perfect storm because like the families all love football. It's not like growing up here where you don't value football and you're just like you can pick and choose sports. It's like there, football is it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So it's a lot more important.
And a lot of those kids like want to get off the island.
Yes.
And this is their only ticket off. You know, it's like they're still just like every
Super
place,
interesting.
Poverty around, and then it's like, hey, this is my ticket.
Like everybody's the same. It's just you're in a tropical paradise, you're still doing the same thing to get out of there, right?
But then I started looking. They used to do the bowl in Hawaii for all from the 46 to 2021 or something like that.
22.
And then they started doing it here, and then it's like it's weird because they're doing the Hula Bowl here in Orlando. But if you think about it, like I'm sure, and they said like with overwhelming support, so it makes sense that all those guys in Hawaii, they're like, hey, if we do it in the mainland, a lot more eyes will be on us because people aren't traveling, like that far. That's a huge trip, and you think to yourself like, oh, trip to Hawaii. What scout doesn't want to do that? Like they've been to Hawaii. You know what I'm saying? Like they want to go to Hawaii on vacation. They don't want to fly 12 hours to go work.
No.
Like they can go work here in Central Florida and be back to their families in 2.5-hour flight.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, like that's the business of it, and it makes more sense. Although, obviously traveling to Hawaii, if you wanted to turn it into a vacation, kind of like the old Pro Bowl.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people used to use it as like, oh, my yearly vacation to Hawaii.
I was kind of hoping that he was. Now, he wasn't this, and that's fine. But I think his role was sort of like our position with Orlando City, where you're a symbolic and you're like a promotional tool for the company.
Yeah.
So
he's way better than we were.
Oh, man, that guy, he is really good, right? Like,
they remember when Phil flew us out to Seattle to go look at Seattle Stadium and we just started drinking in the airport.
It was frowned upon. I was eating pizza. It's like 8 a.m. and I had a slice of pepperoni pizza. I was on my third beer. And they look back at us and they're like, why did we even bring these guys? Comic relief, baby.
They're drinking on a business trip like right in the first.
Every place we went,
not even on the way back.
Every place we went, we drank. When we went to the
stadium, we're alcoholics.
And they're like, hey, we're gonna break.
Phil knew.
They're like gonna break. What are those groups where they say they break out into? We're gonna break out into What are those little? Like
there's
a term for it. They're like, we're gonna break. We're gonna do breakouts. We're gonna do breakouts or something. It's some term. My wife uses it. Okay, now we're gonna go and do breakouts or something. And when they said that, well, you and I got a beer. We like went. There was like a fridge, and they're like, we were like, because we're in the Seattle Stadium, and they were sponsored by what was the beer company? It starts with a C. It's the big Carlsbad, but we were drinking. Oh, it was awesome. We had so much fun.
And people, they're like, "What, you're drinking?" You're like, I think better when I'm drinking.
Yeah.
So does Daniel.
It loosens me up a little bit. Like right now, I feel strange and off and uncomfortable.
Like, so this was helping the business by us being drunk, because my best ideas come drunk, and I'm so much more confident.
Yeah.
And
I'll fight you I'll fight you to get my ideas
done. I'll start hitting on you.
I wanted him to tell me like what he does to set up. Like he's like, okay, so I got to line up this. That guy was a fool.
no, he's the best.
No, he was good at what he does, but he wasn't like what do you do?
You can't even phase him.
No, he just yells hula 55,000 times.
Yeah, the spirit of Hawaii. I remember it. I want like my son's getting free. I remember everything he said.
Yeah, but I don't know if that's even true. I don't even know. Like, there were no
He's
credentials.
He's giving away a trip to Hawaii.
Hold on a second. There were 0 credentials. That could have just been a crazy person that somebody knew.
No, my buddy Tim Billy, who done some electrical work on my house, he's like, hey, you got to meet this guy.
So
weird job.
An old electrician buddy of yours got you an interview with Hula Brett.
Yeah. He was like,
and now you are convincing me that now all of our listeners have free tickets to the Hula Bowl.
No, and every kid in whatever counties he mentioned.
He mentioned them all.
Yeah, all
he
counties.
Said all counties.
Yeah, all counties free.
So Tom Van,
military, I think he said
Tom
free.
Van, Electrician Tim, and Hula Brett are guaranteeing all trash children in Florida a free ticket to the Hula Bowl.
And then he said there's a pageant up front before the Hula Bowl. It's a pageant, like a beauty pageant.
What if this guy wasn't even remotely connected to the Hula Bowl?
I'm gonna walk back there. I'm like, hey,
lady, very nice, beautiful dog. Look what we have here.
I love walking backstage in a pageant.
Oh my God!
I own it. You want to walk wherever I want.
You want to do a couple of voicemails? Close out the segment. Yeah. All right, let me get some of these. Well, thank you again to Hula Brett for his time. That was really funny, dude. I mean, I love talking to interesting people, and that guy's about as interesting as you can get. Also couldn't tell his age. I can never tell albinos' ages. When I see them, because they're so pink.
No, I think it's our camera.
He was very pink. No, that's not my camera. They was on Zoom. Don't blame me for that. That's not me.
Well,
you don't even know how He's an albino. Jeff Howell is an albino. Jeff Howell's an albino. No. Jim Colbert's an albino. And Hula Brett. They're the 3 albinos.
What the hell?
We now have a character group called the 3 albinos.
What the Tanner?
They're very pink. They stay inside all the time. Everybody's pinker now. I don't know if you've noticed this. I'm pinker now.
Go outside.
Can't. Computers are too good. All right. What? Here we go. We're going to do a couple of voicemails and close out the segment. This segment is entitled The 3 Albinos.
In reference to the BDM show, speaking of the Hitler mustache.
Oh, we were talking about, we were just like, hey, what's the best mustache? And we were like, oh, the Hitler one. No, I just want to make sure everybody knows the context of this. We were talking about how Michael Jordan, when he did a series of Hanes commercials where he had a Hitler mustache, and we were like,
and he tried to win the marketing against Hitler, and he was like, I'm bigger than Hitler.
It's like when Kanye wore the MAGA hat, sort of.
Yeah, like he was trying to
take it back or something.
Steal the power away from Hitler and and then say like, and from now on, people will know this.
They'll call this the Jordan.
Yeah, the Jordan stash, and that was his biggest loss.
Yeah, it absolutely was.
He lost that marketing battle.
Joe continues.
You guys listed a few people who had them, but you forgot the guy who had the Hitler mustache before Hitler, good old Charlie Chaplin. He was sporting the toothbrush, it is called the toothbrush mustache, far before Hitler. Don't give that asshole Nazi fucking credit.
Oh, come on. You're right. We'll call it the Chaplin from here on out. We'll call it
but you don't understand. The marketing, we're not in control of the cultural sayings and what everybody knows. So us by calling it the Charlie Chaplin, it will just confuse people.
It will.
We're not going to change.
It's a Hitler mustache. You're right.
Until society changes it or someone more famous rocks that mustache and then that changes it. Then it'll
it's like
always
when
be known.
anybody kneels, I still say Tebow.
you know what they did, and I noticed this. They have obviously because it started as derogatory. I think the sitting Indian style, and they changed that to crisscross applesauce in society. That society has adopted
say cross-legged.
People say now I hear crisscross applesauce, and I heard
so baby.
That's it. That's what people now grew up hearing.
Cross-legged is like cross-legged. Just cross your legs.
That's the new thing.
Okay.
And now we're too old for it.
Yeah.
We'll never pick that up. I will continue till the day I die
To say Indian.
by accident. I'll hold my tongue because I do this for a living. I know how to not say bad words and things like it. So when I say like, I'll say sit cross-legged. But if you just caught me, and I'll be like Indian style, because that's my go-to. That's ingrained.
If I'm in my house and I feel like if I don't feel like anyone can see me, I'll say sit Indian style, and I'll actually use an Indian voice when I say it.
What's weird is that I thought
which is sort of confusing because I'm mixing both Native American with Indian.
Yes. Well, when I always heard Indian style, I thought it was India or Indian.
No.
And then it was
Native American.
Native American.
Yeah.
But what if I mean it as Indian?
They sit like that too.
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Well, that's
a lot of nations sit like that. A lot of Asian nations, Indian nations. If you are in Asia or India, you sit like that a lot more than we do. And we sit on tractors a lot more than you do.
You know what? They crouch down with their feet flat on the ground.
To do.
But also they could do.
I can't do that. My hips.
Like I've been trying to train myself and stretch my Achilles so I could sit like that. I'm close. But
like where you can like sit on your
like that's a normal way that like people in other countries sit to rest.
Yeah.
They'll go down flat-footed and then like with their knees together and then rest like that.
Yeah,
instead of sitting on the floor.
I have too many injuries.
Yeah, like, you'll fall backwards.
Well, no, my knees can't you could hold my arms and I could lower myself down, but it's virtually impossible. My joints are too screwed up.
Most people, especially our age, can't do that unless you started training to do that because you fall back because your whole back of your legs tighten up and your Achilles, so your feet can't be flat. They're on your tippy toes, and then that causes you to arc backwards.
Yeah, other people say cross-leg like I say. Yeah, I say cross-leg, I think. I don't even think I ever said... I think maybe when I was a kid I said Indian style. I wonder why because I don't say it because I'm editing myself, but I wonder why I say sit cross-legged.
It's because it's the correct.
Just naturally started saying that.
Yeah, you're describing the way to sit, but I heard like someone in their 20s say crisscross applesauce. And then
sense.
I was like, that person's young enough for it. The teachers taught him that when he was in kindergarten 20 years ago. When it was started to phase out. And I was like, and then
early 2000s, sure.
And then another 100 years, the Indian style will never be a thing.
Yeah, that's true. Let's do one more.
Hey, Tom and Dan. I was just calling to ask a quick question. If I was wondering if there's any caller or call that, over the past 15 years now, for the Tom and Dan show that sticks out to you. Personally, the one that's at least most burned into my memory is the guy that killed the deer on the side of the road.
Yes.
He just kept trying to kill it, and he just couldn't, and it just got more and more terrible as time went on. That's a pretty standout call, I think, over the show's history. I was wondering if you guys have any honorable mentions. Thanks.
I'm going to share a little more than I maybe shared at that time. Like thinking back on it now, I was a little shocked that people thought that was that bad. Because I think at the time, I thought it was funny, but I didn't think it was that bad. But there were people that were really, really, really upset about that show.
Yeah, well, I mean, you can go back and find it in.
And it wasn't like the guy was doing it live. So I think that's why I always felt like, well, why do you, like, he's just telling a story. There have been 2 stories that have made people mad, and that's one. And the other one is that our friend who lost all that weight told a story about defecating in a hotel room.
Oh,
those 2 stories are the 2 that I got email from people that are like, well, if this is the kind of show you're gonna do, I don't know, man. I don't know.
Yeah. That was, I think it was entitled "The Worst Story Ever Told," and was it a BDM show or no?
I honestly
it may have been a BDM show.
I honestly can't remember.
But I think you can go back now in our app and just search in "Worst Story Ever Told."
Just type in "worst,"
and then it may come up. But at this point in time, you'd have to be a BDM because it would be a OG recap show. Because just to explain, we do release every single week an old AMT, which is the Friday Free Show. We do a little intro before it, and it's about 4 years ago because our archive only goes back 100 shows. So it's longer than that. But if you're a BDM, you can go back to show number 1, and then you have basically all the old shows because we've released an OG show every week for more than 10 years now. And eventually, I've talked to Daniel about this. We were speaking about whether we should put every single recorded show we've ever done on some like website archive. And that you could organize, and like here's every ACT, every BDM, every AMT, and in chronological order.
That would be like there's some people in the chat room are even asking, like Podcast Media 2023 says, I wish y'all had 159 on there. 159 is in the, if you're a BDM, it's on there.
Yeah. Like that's the key. Like if you are a BDM,
12/16/2013, Tyler Dubois says that is the worst story ever told. So there you go. December 16th of 2013. Wow. That's an old ass.
11 years.
That's an old ass show. But
almost 12 years
ago. You can
ago.
go and find it. Yeah, it's, like we had a guy complaining a little bit more about the app this morning when it has to do with Android stuff. We're still trying to tackle the idea of a better spot for everyone to go where you can find everything. Like you had the idea years ago of like having all the interviews in one spot, and then every time repeat guests. So every time Seth's on, they're all in order. Every time Ross is there, they're all in order.
Database, but to put that together, the amount of time and.
Yeah. But it's a lot of work, and we are effectively like a 2-man now.
We'd have to obviously pay someone separately just to do that on their free time, and maybe that's an option. If you even wanted to consider tackling something like that, we'd pay you to do it. Because I thought about this too. Like other than like you could say you're like, who wants this? And probably not that many want access to every show we've ever done. But for us to have. Just this is what we've created for 15 plus years now. It's like, soon it'll be 20. It's like, here's every show we've ever done. And then to have that, even when we're retired or dead and gone, for our kids to have. I don't know. It's just like we did create it should be all in one place. Why not? Instead of just scattered into the internet and the leaves blow away your memory. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, 100%.
So maybe we will pay to have someone put everything. Yeah, because we have them all.
Yeah,
so just organizing.
It's definitely doable. It's definitely something we can do. Yeah. So it's something to look into.
Because every show we've ever released is on Libsyn.
It is. Yeah. Everything we have is in one area or another, and then even beyond that. The amount of hard drives that I have that have everything on them, masters of both audio and video, it's an insane amount of stuff that we have. Yeah. And there's so many other ways to do it. Like some other people in the chat room were talking about, like Christine was talking about how the app doesn't work for her, and she's been admittedly spoiled by Patreon. If we did a Patreon, we couldn't survive because of the amount of money they take. Patreon is a completely different animal.
And if the only problem is not getting the BDM show through the app, we could show you, and we've been saying that to anybody, just email us, and then we'll show you how to get the BDM show in
your
your
you
podcast.
Just use the RSS feeds. Yeah, I'll give you the RSS feeds if you email me. I mean, that's no problem at all. I can totally do that.
And then the Friday Free Show and every corporate time you can get on your podcast device, Google Podcasts or Apple Podcasts. And so those will always work. And then there's RSS feed players. You can get our BDM show.
I mean,
and so we'll give that to you.
But everything's always ever changing, and it used to be able to do RSS on Spotify. I think they took it away. So
yeah.
It's like, I mean, we'll get there. I mean, I'm trying to be better at like not letting it get me bent out of shape because like effectively we've been working on the app and trying to get hours dialed in for
which just changes all the time.
Our entire career,
every year,
it's
new
daunting.
phones change something, and then it'll break something.
Yeah,
and so it's just a constant, That's why most people just have used the third-party app because they're like, "Why am I doing my own app?"
Yeah, why even bother?
They've abandoned that a long time ago.
Yeah.
I was like, Corolla used to do his own app and stuff, and I saw other podcasts.
I think
they
Marin
abandoned.
used to do. A lot of people did, and they just abandoned. I mean, hell, WWE abandoned their app. I mean, it's a thing. But anyway, we have to take a break.
Yep, we will see you tomorrow. Welcome back to A Corporate Time. Real quick, History After Dark.
Yes.
That's the Orange County Regional History Center, November 21st. That's a Thursday. Those third Thursdays they do at the History Center are free. So on November 21st, you can go into the History Center free and then walk around, enjoy adult cocktails, beer, wine.
Yeah.
And
learn something, see all of the exhibits that they have, go into some interactive type of deals, see areas of the History Center that normally you can't. Super cool.
Yeah.
Got the courthouse there that you can walk in and check that out.
I'd much rather drink some alcohol and wander through an interesting place, just reading interesting things and seeing interesting exhibits, than like
sitting sad in your bedroom in the
well,
like
I was just saying,
okay.
then go to some place with like music.
Yeah.
Too old for that. Like like I'm standing around. I'm like, well, what are we doing here? I've been screaming across the I do like the dancing girls.
Yeah, I do like dancing girls. You can go see them after you learn something. I do. That's good. I'm glad you said that. I enjoy a nice, calm time. I like you know what I mean? I'm in my calm years. I like to go to the History Center after dark, walk around, do something calm, and then once I've filled my brain with knowledge, dancing girls. Let's do emails and voicemails. If you have emails for us, show@tomandan.com. Maybe you're a dancing girl and you want to come in here and dance for me and Tom. Show@tomandan.com. Here is our first email. Speaking of which, a while back we asked for interns. We kicked it around. We got a few little messages on Facebook. Are you serious? I'm like, yes, I am. Nothing back. We got 2 emails. One of them was a joke email from your mailman saying that I'll just get rid of that one. Basically, he's outlining like his letter of demand.
I'm like, you've been working this job 50 years.
Yeah.
Yours is the pension, the government pension you're going to get? Yeah. You're going to throw that all away?
And it was like a list of demands about how he'd like to be paid. And I'm like, obviously, you don't know what an internship is. And then this other one's kind of interesting. This is from Shane. Says, what's up, Tom and Dan? I'm not a hot goth girl, unfortunately, but I'll be your intern who's also an electrician. I also need to do Weird Job Wednesday with you. Love you guys, and we'll always tune in. Shane, but it's spelled like Cheyenne.
All right.
Is this a guy? A hot girl electrician intern would be awesome.
Yeah,
that'd
now,
be great.
What does she want to get
we
from
call her
this?
Like lightning. I think this is like a boy, though. I think this is a boy.
Because I would tell any electrician, that's where the money's at.
No. Come in here and put up a bunch of LED lights for free.
Like if you were a good electrician, right?
Oh, Andrea knows this is a guy. Shane. He's a guy. He teaches ice skating, she's saying.
You let's say you just start I'm sure you do an apprenticeship or whatever, and then you just build your business up. You get some some cheap insurance policy just so you can say licensed and insured.
Yeah.
You get an LLC, and then you just hustle, especially while you're young, doing because think about how many people need some sort of electrical work
but
in the
how
house.
Do they find you?
Word of mouth,
Just word of mouth?
Dude, if you were a hustler and did a really good job, think about it. You'd be like, hey, this guy just came to my house, fair price, hustled, professional. You'd be like, I know you were looking for an electrician. Everybody's looking for someone.
Sometimes those people aren't as reliable.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You'd have to be.
Sometimes they you'll never. Where they call them, their phone's disconnected.
Oh, well, they're Tom Vans.
Yeah.
Because they're just fueling their addiction.
Yeah,
like I do one job and then I'm like, I'm rich. You give me $3,500. I go.
You're out.
I buy some drugs and then I'm like, I don't have to work forever now. And then because I don't know how money works. And then I spend all my money and then I'm like, oh God, I got to pay my bills.
What'd you buy?
I bought a lot of stuff.
You bought a classic boat.
I bought a
1950s boat.
I bought a stand-up jet ski that needs some work. That I'm gonna work on my in the garage.
Don't
you
want one again?
Yes, I do. I bought a AR-15.
That's a good.
Yeah.
Hold their value.
I have 3 other ones in my gun safe. And then I bought something for my boat. I think I had to do some mechanical work. Anyway, point being, then all these other jobs, I go and I rush them. I do, like, people are like, the guy, like, he was kind of cheap, but he, something stinks like fish. That's what happens when because the old, all the insulation, it starts burning up back there. That's what the squid wall is. Anyway, but if you were a hustler, and I think you could make a ridiculous bank because you could just go do people's panels in their house because everybody's got old panels or like needs new outlets or like like certain jobs that like huge vast neighborhoods are aging the same time and they're all 1970s.
Don't know. I just don't like. I think you'd have to work for a company in order to make your nut. Like I just don't. You'd have to. I mean. Like you're saying, you're winging around the term hustle like it's easy. You know what I mean? Like I think it would be extremely difficult.
It is. It's hard, but I think of word of mouth. I've seen people do it, but the hustle's hard. That's the thing. You know, like, and
it almost never ends. It's like you're on call. It's like take when you can, like, oh, we need you now. Okay, well, I have to go in.
Yeah, but then I've seen people do it where they hustle their way up, so they only have like reliable, well-paying, not flighty, not like.
But how many of those people do you see? Is what I would.
Oh, they were the
few and far between.
Yeah. Well, because everybody else get tired of dealing with the. You're dealing with a lady. You do some job at her house, and then she's like, "I smell something weird. I think there's something going on," and there's like, "I promise, ma'am, there's nothing." And they're like, "Yeah, come back," and then you have to come back.
Well, that's just old people.
And then they go on Yelp, and they're like, "One review, he did a job, and it smells now." And then you're like,
"You're ruining my business."
There's like you have to email them, and you're like, "Please, this bad Yelp review hurts my business."
They'll never see the email you sent.
No,
there's
no
recourse. You can never change the review. Is there forever.
Yeah. Then you're like, "Oh God!" Then your old ladies yell at you, like, "I told you not to
get
take that
regular job."
Yeah.
Stop this hustling crap.
Just go work for Mr. Sparky.
That's what I was going to suggest.
And just get a 9 to 5. Yeah. You're driving yourself crazy. You're like, you'll see. I burned Mr. Sparky's bridge a while ago because I undercut him.
He already worked there.
And Mr. Sparky he told me.
I'll put you out of business, Sparky. You'll see. Look what's crawling back.
And then, you're a slave to.
You're a slave to the Sparky.
To all the clients that want you to do like ridiculous hard jobs for nothing. You're like, rewire my house for $1,200.
Yeah.
You're like, it's $1,200 of wire.
Well, that's because you're working independently. See, Sparky, big Sparky, you could say like, this is our price, take it or leave.
Yes, yeah. And then you're like, no, and then you're like, well,
I'll do it.
You're like, I could do it for.
If I do a really good job, she'll tell other people, and that doesn't work.
I'll do it for maybe $2,000, and then I can. If I do it in one day, then I can get all the margins will work. And they're like, deal. Then you get up in the attic, it's a spark, it's a mess of it, and then you're like, wait,
it takes you 7 days longer than you thought it did.
And then you're like, wait a minute, lady, who did this? All messed up, and you're like, you said 2,000.
Then you fall through the drop down. You're blowing.
I'll write another bad Yelp review if you don't do it. You're up there. You're missing your face. You're.
This is a terrible scenario. I mean, this is terrible.
Well, I'm just telling you what my life would be.
Yeah, don't do that.
As an electrician.
Let's try this one right here. This is from Clay. He says, "Dear Tom and Dan, my barber was chatting me up, and one of his questions for me was what I did for Halloween. I told him I dressed up as Shaun from the movie Shaun of the Dead. Then he said, oh, that's an old movie. Then I replied with, no, The movie just celebrated its 20th anniversary. I don't blame him thinking it's old with it having flip phones and tube TVs in it. But then I did have to question myself of when is a movie considered old? I just go with a movie is considered old if it was before the 90s because I'm a 90s kid. Thus, how would you consider a movie and other things old? Shout out to those who can still pull off a goatee. Clay. Thank you, Clay.
I like how Clay has no perception of how time works.
Yeah, I also like that even though the barber said it was 20 years old, he's like, that's still not old, guys. Yeah, that's an old movie.
Yeah,
to me, a movie that's 5 years old is an old movie.
Yeah. A classic car, or a car is considered classic. I think, what is it, 25?
I think it might be 25.
It
might have been 20 because I know my 59 Vespa has a classic plate, and it's not as much as you think.
Yeah, listen, we all do it, and my pop-up did it, and I made fun of him, and I'm doing it now, and every human does it because it's the natural psychology of it. My pop-up used to be like, I quit smoking when cigarettes became 30 cents a pack. You know, that used to tell me this. And now
what are they, $8
yeah,
a pack?
like whatever, and it's like I used to laugh, and because I'm like, that's how money works, pop-up. Like, everything gets more expensive. It's designed. That's where Bitcoin comes from, because it's a whole thing. It's like our money inflates, and then sometimes if it goes too fast, then you got some country that's burning their money for warmth.
Keep themselves warm.
Sure. We've all seen that. And so anyway, and so I often look back and think like Black Hole Sun. Like, even though I know that's I don't look at it, that song as being as old and in relation.
I didn't know what you were saying. Yeah, the song "Black Hole Sun" by Soundgarden.
Green Day, Dookie.
Okay,
or
the
something
album
like
Dookie.
That's
25 years, right?
A little more. When I think it
30
came out
years now?
in '98. It's probably 25 years old. Yeah, so like, if you said like Basket Case, like that's a 25 or over 25 years old, that would be in.
It's 30 years old. Dookie is 30 years old.
When we grew up in the 90s, that's like talking about some 1970s, you're talking about Crocodile Rock. You're like, what the hell? Yeah. Crocodile Rock.
Talking about the Captain and Tennille.
Yeah, our Dookie is Crocodile Rock. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how.
My Dookie will never. You take that back. My Dookie will never be Crocodile Rock. You mother effer.
Yeah.
I'll never say that.
Yeah. Anything that happened in the 90s, we were talking 1900s. Like, you understand what kids look at the 1900s as? Like, that's what they're like, whoa.
I don't think they even have a concept, really.
Yeah. Like, it's going to be eventually at some point for us like the 1800s were.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And like, people are going to be like, whoa, you were born in 1893? Like, remember when that happened in our lifetime?
Andrea's, I forget when her
my grandfather was born in 1925.
Yeah.
So it's like her granddad must have been born in the teens.
Yeah.
So
he's like 101 now.
And then but I remember when people were dying off or like living and born in the 1800s when we were kids.
Yeah, I've met people.
And then it would blew my GD mind, and that's going to blow someone's mind in the future when people find out we were born in 1980s or 1970s.
Yeah.
I
won't make it that long, but a boy can hope.
In 20 years, people are going to be like, whoa, in the 2040s, you were born in the 1900s.
Let's try this one right here about adult content.
Hey guys, I was just thinking about how every time I go on my phone now, whether it's social media or what have you, I'm like 3 swipes away from some type of adult content. Like, it seems like it's just everywhere now. Like, if I search a term, it comes up, on TikTok, you can search blue sandal and it'll be like the second video will be some adult content. And I don't think that's going to stop or change in any way. But it does make me think like the people in like the early 1800s or sometime when the light bulb was displayed to the public and there was that group that was like feared electricity and technology in homes. Honestly, they might have been right. They might have had a point.
Well, so like, is he saying that the light bulb is the slippery slope to us having pornography at all times?
I'm sure they said, like, this is going to be the end of civilization.
Well, I would argue that right now is the sweet spot where we're not quite corrupt, where you can just use it and it's good.
Well, he is right, and I have a perfect example of this. So last night,
I'll be the judge of that.
The Max wanted to download Spotify, and so did Tommy on their devices. Right?
Yeah.
They don't have their own, but they got like a house iPad, house phone that they use for Wi-Fi.
Is that how they play music?
No, well,
or is this their first time they've asked
Roblox.
for music?
No, this is they
because I gave Maisie a Spotify a long time ago, but with dance and everything, she always is listening to music. So
of course, yeah. That's
but she does have her own.
And is it kid only or is it anything?
It is not kid only.
Yeah.
But
because with kid only, it's only baby music.
Yeah,
like it's ridiculous.
I had to open that up and just kind of bite the bullet on that one. Yes.
So, but now she's searching pop music and stuff like that.
Yeah,
but,
and she's not listening to like WAP or anything.
No. And then so Max likes AJR and all his songs.
Great
like
band.
They curse, but it's not bad.
No, they use it like you would use it as a human. They're not being gross.
And they're talking about like weed and cocaine sometimes, like as mentioning.
Yeah.
So there's some adult things,
They're
know.
Just
but
humans.
But Max and Tommy, but especially Tommy, loves Tenacious D. And so we've let him listen to it. This is our fault. To like the Tribute and Wonder Boy and all the the cleaner ones, and even some of the other day, me and Tommy, we Crystal took Max to breakdancing. So then Tommy, I'm like, what do you want to do? He's like, let's go to Hobby Lobby.
Let's go to Hobby Lobby and pray. You're like, okay.
So I don't tell him.
He's very conservative.
So I'm like, all right. He likes.
Let's go to Hobby Lobby and protest.
Tommy likes to just go to stores and walk around.
Dude,
and look and Crystal does it with him.
This is my child. This is the person I was supposed to hang out with.
And
Tommy Van.
So I was like, let's do it, buddy. Because I don't want to tell him that's stupid or whatever.
No.
Like, what are we going to waste our time?
Do you think I ever tell Maisie I don't want to do dance?
Yeah.
Dance is life.
So I'm like, let's go because you wanted to do that. Mom's with Max.
Did you give him the LFG?
No. So
come on, let's go.
So we get in, we go to Hobby Lobby.
Hell
and
yeah.
We
now, do you have a way that you do it? Do you do every aisle? I do every aisle.
No, I follow him.
I go all the way to the end, and I start at one corner, and I walk it like a dot matrix printer, man. I want to see everything in there.
I'm looking around like everything in here is weird.
Oh, it's weird. It's
weird. The people are weird.
Yeah, the people are very weird.
There was also
it's second to Walmart, dude.
There was also a Salvation Army person, and he was playing like a song. He had like an xylophone.
Oh, well, hold on, you don't need to show us up.
Like he was playing like.
He's playing the Bluey theme song.
No.
Hey. He's playing like a little song.
Anyway, so
it impressed you. You had a great time at the store with your son. I could see the smile on your face.
So we left. He didn't even want to buy anything. He's like, all right, I got my fill. We did buy. I was like, we got to buy something like some paints or something like a canvas.
Something. Get at least a wooden dowel rod or something. You can whack a frog with.
I was like, we can't come here for nothing.
Get something to destroy.
So on the
get a jumbo Eiffel Tower.
On the leaving Hobby Lobby, I'm like, you want to listen to Kill Boss's Sausage? because his mom
my butt cheeks is warm.
Then we listen to Karate. Well, Karate, I'll kick your ass.
From here to the enemy's ground.
Yeah, that, but it's...
Yeah, mother
yeah.
I'm gonna kick your effing dairy.
Yeah. That old, the pool, the pubes, the whole thing,
Does he know what pubes are?
Yeah.
Maisie doesn't know what pubes are.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we have it's different.
My sons know what Hawk Tuah is. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
because Max made a Hawk Tuah joke. We played on the medium show, and then Tommy, I said Tuah, and Tommy goes, Hawk. So they're like Marco Polo.
That's pretty funny.
And then I'm like, God damn, and I'm like, those kids probably told them. Someone said, I know what it means,
I actually created I wrote a song with Maisie last night. We wrote a song on the song generator.
Last thing. So
go ahead.
The Spotify thing, so Tommy wanted to obviously look at Tenacious D.
Yeah.
So he goes to Tenacious D. Well, the songs are C push-ups, Effort Gently.
Yeah, they're all.
You know,
yeah,
it's
those
like,
are all the big ones too.
So and we told them, I was like, you can't listen to some of these songs. We'll know if you listen to them. Like, we don't want you. But just the words.
Yeah, it's in there.
Effort Gently.
Yeah.
See push-ups. Like, so.
Well, at least you're teaching him to effort gently.
So do I tell him he can't? You know.
Well, he's already listened to him. Maybe he can listen to him while you're there. He can't listen to it alone.
I will not listen to See Push-Ups with my son. Or Effort Gently. I can't. That's too far.
Why don't you buy the songs that he likes and allow him to have the ones that you've already, like you pick the ones and you say, we bought these for you. They're yours.
Well, then
and you can listen to those.
That's not Spotify. That's what they want in Spotify. So there's either no Spotify or
that's a toughie.
So that's why. So
that's a toughie because it does. Yeah, there is a varying degree of how disgusting the songs get.
So I did what I always do.
Just gave up.
Just give up. I love giving up. And then I was like, and then I think to myself.
And you're like, I'm okay with C-word push-ups.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah, this won't. It's not going to be that bad.
Oh, Andrea has a good suggestion. You can make a playlist for him and then put those songs in there and say, like, here's your playlist.
He already saw it. It's already, I'm telling you that it's already happened, and I think just nothing will happen. And
that is a little early for me, though, because I know I went early with adult music. I know I did. But that's just a touch earlier than me. So it's not that far off, because I think I was 12 or 13 when I did NWA, and that's way worse, because it was like, I need a copter so I can get away clean and take some P-word along, if you know what I mean. It was all very misogynistic and very disgusting, and lots of balls.
I did whatever I wanted, so I'm a bad reference of
what does Crystal think?
She was smoking when she was Tommy's age.
It's all falling apart. Oh, no, I thought you meant while you were playing the music for him. She's outside smoking. I'm like, well, what are you guys doing over there?
She was a latchkey kid smoking.
No, but I mean, what does she say about this? Like, does she? I mean, I would imagine
says,
she doesn't want her son listening to C-word push-ups. I mean, that's a step too far.
Well, she has this discussion while the Dolphins are playing the goddamn Rams, and Tua's stinking it up.
Sorry, it's a callback.
And all I needed is 16 points, and I lost my week.
I mean, we don't go quite that far. I think C-word push-ups, if you want my opinions, is a little too far. I will say this is about as far as the Dennises get. Me and Maisie wrote a song. This is the grossest we'll get. We wrote a song called Penis in the Front. This is our song. This is me and Maisie wrote this. I think you'll like it.
Penis in the front.
Penis in the front.
Anus in the back.
Anus in the back.
Penis is a worm.
Penis is a worm.
Anus has a crack.
Anus has a crack. That's the whole song. That's it. That's about as far as we get in the Dennis household.
Yeah. So. I mean, my boys would think that's pretty funny.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a little more childlike,
Yeah. Although, like, if she, misspelled something she was searching for on Spotify, then push-ups could come up.
It could.
But she probably wouldn't even know what that
most
is.
of the music she's going to listen to, I know she doesn't know what that word means. I know for a fact. And most of the music that's going to come up, she knows what the F word is and the S word is, but she doesn't really know the sexual connotation, the hock to a C word, D word, that spit is involved.
I don't even know. Like now, Hawk 2. I don't know if my sons. I think they do, but I think they know what you spit on. I think the other kids told them,
but I think they might think it's an insult. A lot of kids think. Remember when we all thought it? Yeah, the other kids will tell them.
The other kids told me. They told me in the bus. Told me everything.
Yeah.
Porto Joe had Porto on his back.
Sometimes they show you.
He's like, look what I found.
I remember.
I was like, whoa,
I remember feeling like. I remember that was like the first time I felt anxiety. I remember.
That gave you anxiety.
I remember feeling like, oh my God, I'm gonna pass out. I was like, look, I'm being serious, man. You're laughing in my face. I
love laughing in your face.
I remember looking at it and thinking this is something as a young man or woman, I believe, but as a young man, I knew I could feel it in my groins, my loin groins.
Yeah.
I knew that I was looking at something that was steps ahead of where I needed to be, and I was staring into it, and then I'll pass out. And that was the beginning of my anxiety. That was the beginning of it. And it's followed me ever since.
Or did it just get released at that one?
I remember I was from a Hustler magazine, and I took it was the centerfold, and it was graphic. And I remember I folded it up into the tiniest little piece of paper I could fold. Like, remember when you would fold paper so many times? I folded this piece, it was a fold out from Hustler that I folded to about, it was like a half an inch. Thick as could be.
Like
and
a football taco.
Exactly. Football taco, pun intended. And I got on my Peugeot bike, my BMX, and I rode through to where I knew there was a sewer grate, and I found the sewer grate, and I stuffed it in there, and it fell to the bottom, and it hit the water, and then it fell down. I was like, oh my God, okay, I've destroyed the evidence. My dad will never know that I saw that horrible red-haired Hustler woman. The whole thing.
Oh, yeah.
The whole thing.
That's the point that started your anxiety. That's the beaver singularity.
Yeah. That's it.
Oh, okay. We'll see you tomorrow. Welcome to Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. We are live on Twitch and YouTube, and you can go there and watch us as well. Just search for @Tom and Dan Live.
With us on Zoom is our good friend, comedian Vince Taylor. How you doing, Vince?
What's going on, world? Are we still alive? We good?
Barely. We're here, though. We're breathing. We're good.
So Vince is from the, of course, the podcast New Blurred Order.
You couldn't read your handwriting. I saw that. I saw that. He got in there, and he's like, new? He said new was right, but blurred. He's like, what did I write? New blood? New blood?
Yeah,
did I write
the B word? Hey, say it.
And then I was like, his podcast is called Podcast New Blurred Order? That's how stupid.
Go check out the New Blurred Order and tell us a little bit about your show. For those that may not have ever, loaded it up, what is the New Blurred Order all about?
Well, the New Blurred Order, I mean, it's a show where we as nerds talk about nerdy stuff. Right now, Penguin is hot. Yes. DC Comics has this really dope show. Just had a season finale not too long ago, competing with Marvel in the Agatha All Along series, which just had a season finale as well. And there's a whole lot of stuff that goes on in the nerd universe, and just folks like me who are kind of weird and quirky and didn't really get a chance to talk about it out loud, do it on this show. Now, the blurred thing, as you know, comes from me being black, and hopefully that's
it's apparent. It's apparent. If you're watching, it is apparent.
Yeah, man, it's crazy. I mean, but y'all watch these things too, so don't sit there trying to act like I'm the only geeky one in here. Like, no. Me and Dan have sat and popped out, man, and I know Tommy's still working on getting them kids Marvelized and indoctrinated, you know what I'm saying?
They're there, right?
We watch every single Marvel movie, although the past, I think we've gotten past Endgame. We've seen all the Guardians. And now it's like we skip the girl ones. My boys, they're like, Miss Marvel. What
does she do? Oh my God.
Yeah. So and then now we're
Miss Marvel and the dish rag of doom.
And the iron claws. This is freaking
God.
I will say that.
And the villainous vacuum.
In the household chores. I think that this current state of Marvel is passable. Like, a lot of folks ain't really messing with it, but this DC show is up your alley, bro. Like, Tommy, like, I swear to God, like this, like you were like Sopranos, right? Like, y'all in the Sopranos.
I love, like, that would have been a little bit more, like, I watched that when it was hot and followed it and was on the air when it was hot, and we would talk about it every week. Like, I still have unanswered questions from that show, but yes, I have heard, like, just, my ear on the streets is everybody says Penguin is where it's at. Like, that is
what streets is you in, Dan?
Yeah, it's more like a subdivision. I've got my ear on the subdivision, on the streets of the subdivision. They're more like...
The cul-de-sac is talking right now, right?
Yeah.
They're the pressure-washed streets of Baldwin.
Yeah, they're so clean. They're the lily white streets of Baldwin.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie, because Dan does give me like Ed, and Eddie's Suburbs vibes a little bit, you know what I'm saying? So I'm definitely sure there's a water hose being jumped through on somebody's lawn every summer with you.
And what a great show. That show, and it still holds up. If you ever catch Ed and Eddie reruns, or if you can watch it, go watch it. Very inappropriate, still holds up.
See,
was it me? Was it just me, or were Jawbreakers like a euphemism for crack on that show? Like they went a little hard for Jawbreakers.
Yeah, Jawbreakers. You know what? I'm glad you brought this up. I'm gonna pontificate. I'm gonna pontificate on Jawbreakers for a second because they came up in Bob's Burgers. Jawbreaker, the candy jawbreaker, is a trope that is used in cartoons a lot, but no kids eat jawbreakers.
Whoa, flag on the play.
It's not a thing.
False.
We never ate them. Like, no kid, no Florida kid, like none of my friends ever ate jawbreakers. You see them in Bob's Burgers, the kids have the everlasting gobstopper, the jawbreaker. Nobody.
Yeah, they got.
It's not a thing.
Yes, you did.
The big
Yeah,
one.
we used to sell jawbreakers.
No.
What are you talking about?
Wasn't
man?
a
We
thing.
sold them.
I never had it. I was now and laters. We had now and laters. That's all
We had now and laters. Yeah.
What'd you have?
Tearjerkers.
So we had tearjerkers, warheads. Did you have jawbreakers, Tom?
See, the problem with the jawbreaker is that you have it in your mouth, and then you're tired of it after hours.
So you have to wrap it
and
in cellophane.
You spit it into a napkin or whatever, and then when you go to like suck on it later,
It's got paper.
Yeah, it's got
That's why you put it in
dry.
cellophane.
Yeah. Well, I'm too
stupid.
lazy, too stupid, and so and then I'm like, I just want chocolate.
Yeah, well, the chocolate, I don't know. All I heard was suck on it later. So I'm glad we can have that for editing. But yeah, man, I remember selling all of these different candies, so I'm surprised that y'all didn't have these. I mean, I guess we don't see them in Halloween anymore, so it is what it is.
No, it's not really a thing anymore. Okay, so let's go. Let's jump back to it for a second. Penguin, you saw the final episode. As good as people are saying, and now Colin Farrell is saying.
Oh my God!
He's in for a second season, right? Isn't he saying he is?
He's gonna win awards. Like I predicted this.
Really?
Nobody was asking for Penguin. Nobody was looking for it, and that's what makes it better. When you have expectations, you want things to be the way you expected them. Nobody had zero expectations of Penguin because nobody was asking for it, and so they're brilliant enough to make this off-screen character who really isn't the main villain in this show, and they make a show that is comprised of a bunch of misfits. So there's no real way to determine who to root for in this show because they're all scumbags. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, you might get some good glimmering hope from some of the characters, like, oh, there's some things, some good qualities, but for the most part, they all like, oh my God, these scumbags. And so that's what makes it interesting. And there's no superpowers, very little green screen, and there's no Batman. So they can make a really compelling story without even having to include the actual character that the story is based around. That's when you know it's good. And let's give Colin Farrell his credit because this dude is in complete latex, whatever, I don't know what they call it. My brain, I did a lot of stuff when I was younger to keep my memory not as good as it used to be.
Prosthetic.
Yeah.
Prosthetics, all that.
He's got a ding-dong nose.
The ding-dong nose, exactly. And that's what's going to get him the awards.
Yeah.
The ding-dong nose award is on the way. Like, and it's not just that he looks like some weird dude. His accent, his mannerisms, his fully embodiment of the character Penguin or Oswald Cobb or Oswald Cobblepot, depending on how far you go back, is completely ridiculous for somebody who has not been embedded in the comic book world. Now, don't forget, I think last time we were here, we even talked about the fact that this ain't his first time in a comic book movie. He was Bullseye in the illustrious Daredevil with Ben Affleck and Elektra, which was trash. Yeah. But he was there.
Yeah, he was there. He's done it before. And I have heard that this show though is that, and they're already trying to get ready for a part 2 or like a second season, right? They think they found the secret sauce.
It's that good, bro.
Now, is there an essence of Batman in there? Like, is he ever mentioned at all, or is there?
Honestly, I'm a big proponent in like level expectations, so I'm gonna say nothing.
Okay,
I want you to watch it from start to like literally. Like this is a perfect show for folks who get tired of people talking about comic book shows because it's not really. If you don't know anything about Batman, Penguin, don't know nothing about nobody, and you just like good TV or good productions,
that's good.
This is a good production.
All right.
So yeah, Tommy, it's up your alley, bro. You ain't gotta like it, and ain't no girls in it like that. You know what I'm saying? So it's all up for you. You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna watch it. And now what I'm afraid of though is, and this happens with a lot of shows, is the first season is good and they wrote it out and someone took a long time thinking about it and writing it, and now that it's a hit, they're like, give us more. So then all of a sudden you yell, give us more to the writer. And he's like, well, it took me 5 years to write the first one. And then you're like, we need it in 3 months.
Yeah, crap it out.
And then so now, and they're like, we need more Batman and we need Mr. Freeze.
Yeah.
Then he started,
and then next thing you know, Lady Gaga's in there singing it up. We got a big old hunk of crap.
So like the people said they want more of this, and they, so then the writer feels pressure, and then the season 2, and they're like, and and draw it out because we want to make more money. So draw season 2.
Season 2 is only going to be half of season 2.
And then it's very House of Dragons where you're sitting there waiting for something to happen, and then all of a sudden no dragon fight at the end. All this for nothing.
Well, that's next half season.
I know. Well, that's all for nothing.
All right.
And then you get mad. So
that's
I'm
a lot.
afraid.
That's a lot to download, Vince.
We really got close just now. Like that was a heartfelt, legit monologue,
he
bro.
Is a House
I didn't know you was really going through it.
He's a House of Dragons.
Yeah, I didn't even know he was into it.
No, he loves it.
Yeah, that's what's up.
He loves it.
So
it makes him and his wife horny. That's what he told me privately. He told me privately the House of Dragons makes him and his wife horny.
Although the incest, it's
well,
not.
That's your problem. You don't pick and choose. You don't pick your kink. It picks you.
It bothers my wife more. I think that's from years of taboo watching all the movies. And,
years of something. Yeah, I was about to say.
Like,
incest is hot right now.
Like at this point, I'm desensitized by stepdaughters.
If I already had it, sometimes you got to give your stepdaughter a massage. It's just the way it goes.
Yeah, or stepmom, anything step at this point.
Or bratty milf, bratty sibling.
Or if your hand gets caught in the washing machine.
Oh, yes. Or if you're underneath a glass coffee table that would only be in a porn director's house.
Oh, my God. And did you notice that abortions are okay if it's incest involved? That's the one loophole nobody's ever really seemed to jump through.
Wow, Vince going hard.
Yeah. We're just here talking about getting stuck here.
We're just talking about porno.
All right. Oh, my bad.
By the way, I don't worry about that because I'm already gone.
Also, this is just, I don't know if there's any directors of these style porns listening.
I can direct one for you.
But
what do you need?
When you do the shot from under the glass table, I see that her hand is not really stuck. It's just.
Well, you're looking at the wrong thing.
Well, no, I'm just saying it's barely like she just has
she's just resting it on the shag rug.
Like I see that you're not stuck.
Yeah. I see the key grip in the background. He's holding the microphone.
And it's odd that you weren't more surprised that your stepson pulled your pants down. Like you see,
I would call 911. Like if I were in that position, if the tables were turned, if I had my hand stuck,
you're not squirming at all.
If I had my hand stuck at a glass coffee table, and then my nephew Vince Taylor came in and pulled my pants down, I would call 911. I'd be like, "Sir, call 911." Like I'd call the cops. I'd be like, "This man's assaulting me."
You'd be like, "What?"
Fellas, this is way too deep.
Okay,
I gotta get in on this conversation.
We wanted to take our relationship to the next level, but we're not ready yet.
I want to be a part of the combo. I need you to post a link in the private chat. Give me about 5 minutes, and I'll be back a little later, and I'll come back and we'll talk about it.
Sorry, Vince. You mentioned I want to talk to.
No, please continue.
I want to talk about Daredevil because you mentioned it, and I saw a list of new Marvel movies and Marvel-related movies coming out next year, and Daredevil was on the list coming out March of 2025. And so, who's going to be the Daredevil? The same one?
Yeah, Daredevil is played by Charlie Cox, all right, the same one who was playing Daredevil in the Netflix series. The only question we have now is, will it be as intense, as bloody, as violent as the original Daredevil? One thing we've noticed is that Disney, since they just released Deadpool they've been releasing Deadpool and some of the rated R stuff including Logan on Disney Plus, that they're not afraid to go there, but it still feels weird, right? Because it's Disney.
It does feel weird.
And it's just weird to have like bloody stuff and like, Disney, like my real question is, when they're putting the R-rated stuff, when the real sexual stuff comes out, do they also allow that? Because I noticed that they're okay with the words and the violence, but nothing sexual as of yet. So I don't know, man. If Monsters Ball ever comes to Disney Plus, like, I really want to see what happens with that. But right now, the Daredevil coming to Disney is a bit of a let's see what happens, because a lot of us really like those 10-minute long fight scenes that we got on Netflix where he get out the elevator or he knock folks out in the hallway.
Yeah,
and I'm just a little leery about that happening on Disney. So we'll see what happens, man. But I have a point, if I could.
Yeah,
let's move this forward. In the world of Marvel, what was recently put out there is the fact that Denzel, or as he calls it, Denzel, is finally open to playing a role in a Marvel movie, and I want to know how y'all feel about this.
I mean, like, I think anytime you have an actor that's that incredible that is into it, I think you have to do it. Like when you have, like for me, and this is just me taken from like talent. Like when you look at Robert Downey Jr., when you look at these guys that are really good actors, I feel like if what's the guy? Oh, Bill the Butcher. I feel like if he said, "Hey, I want to do a Marvel movie,"
people would be freaking out.
But I almost feel like you have to do it because you have to at least give him a shot. And I feel like Denzel. Now, I wish it had been younger Denzel, but hey, we don't get to pick and choose that. I'm open to it just because I think he's an incredible actor. How do you feel about it?
I don't like it.
Okay, all right.
And that's weird. It's weird for me to say that because
give me that.
I love
Why?
Denzel.
Why don't you
I
like
love
it?
Denzel.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's because I hold Denzel in this really high regard. You know, like he's like top 5 dead or alive actors.
Okay.
And I feel like top 5 dead or alive actors have managed to kind of stay away from the comic book realm, so to speak.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to like down the comic. I love, don't get me wrong. I love Downey, Chadwick Boseman. Look, it's not like this dampers their ability to perform. But I just don't know, like me seeing, like Denzel playing Dormammu or coming in some weird costume and like, it just doesn't, I'd rather have my vision of him as old boy from Training Day or with Mo Better Blues or from, or even like, any of these other movies that he played in. When I start to think of him in a costume with powers and stuff like that, I know Equalizer was a thing. I know, Eli, the Book of Eli was a thing, but I just don't know if I want Denzel fighting like a talking raccoon or a tree. You know what I'm saying? I don't. It just doesn't. It doesn't sit with my soul. I'm definitely able to be proved wrong, but I don't know. It's something it's icking me.
No, I get it, and I respect that opinion. Is it kind of like when Samuel L. did Star Wars, and it just like it felt weird, like if you look at the picture, even now, like to me it looks weird, and maybe it's because of all the jokes we did, and maybe it's because of what's the movie, the most famous one he was in,
Pulp Fiction.
Thank you. Pulp Fiction.
Well,
but like when you look at that, okay, you take the screenshot of the council during the round or whatever, however you want to take it, and when you see him at the time, and because he is such an iconic star in my brain, when I saw it, I'm like, whoa, it's a joke.
It
you
took
know
you
what
out
I
of
it. It does. And so is that kind of like you? It's like when you put Denzel and he's dressed like a Hawkman. He's got wings and he's got and then you're like, no.
Now, let me tell you. First of all, how dare you speak ill of Mace Windu of this sort? I got a lightsaber here right now. If we was in the studio, you might have just got sliced. So let's just let that be a thing. For me, it's not that. It's that if Denzel, I would look. His mama called him Denzel. I'm gonna call you Denzel. I don't care if you can't. I don't know if y'all seen the memes online, but he evidently his real pronunciation of the name is Denzel, but we just want to call him Denzel. That's what we do. You know what I'm saying?
It's like when Filatowski said, "No, I'm sorry, it's Filatowski," and we're like, "Oh my God, we've been doing it for 30 years."
So
yeah,
why did he come out and say that so long after we've all been saying Denzel? Why say it now?
I don't know. I guess nobody ever asked him. I'll never ask. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what you gotta put the hyphen on his name or something, man, because it's giving me DeLand from D-Land or whatever. How we change names like that.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, Dan. Samuel L. Jackson from Jump was grinding, and he was willing to work on crazy movies. We saw this dude in Black Snake Moan. You know what I'm saying? We saw this dude in Snakes on a Plane. Samuel L. Jackson is here to work. He's not here to try to make his image look a certain way. He played a racist slave. All right, in a movie with Leo DiCaprio called Django, of course. So I didn't have this. Oh, he's up here. Don't get me wrong, he is. But I'm also still thinking of Samuel L. Jackson from Coming to America, who tried to rob Eddie Murphy and Arsenio Hall and got put on his back with the broomstick. Go back and watch it again if you're not familiar. Now, I don't see Denzel doing that. I see him avoiding roles like that.
Gotcha.
I see him conscientiously saying, no, I'm here to get the award. I'm here to get the accolades. I'm here to keep myself at this level on some Leonardo DiCaprio type stuff. And I believed it. I was like, well, maybe that's right. Maybe he should keep himself from doing these things. Sure. He's not Idris Elba. He's not any of these. He is on another level. And so now in his 60s, 70s, being like, all right, well, F it. You know what I'm saying? I guess, we're down to the
giving up.
Well,
it just doesn't.
That makes sense to me.
And I know that I'm gonna get for this. You know what I'm saying?
No,
but
you're good.
something just don't feel right about it. But good luck. I'm gonna still watch it.
No, it's like everybody's got their opinion. It's like, no, I absolutely get what you mean, especially because I feel like that's an actor that's close to you and means a lot to you. So that makes sense. That makes sense to me.
Yeah. I got another question for y'all.
Please.
I wish I could throw this. I should have sent y'all this this picture. But did y'all see the Dark Knight Christopher Nolan series with Christian Bale and Heath Ledger as the Joker? Did y'all see that?
Yeah, I mean the original movie. Yeah.
Not the original, but the Dark Knight. Yeah, all three of them. Yeah, the Batman Begins, the Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so the Batmobile in that movie, Warner Brothers is now selling 10 models of these Batmobiles for about $10 million each. So 10 of these will be driven somewhere in the world on the street. My question is, if y'all had the money, would you buy this Batmobile?
So I remember
No, they're like Cybertrucks look so bad. It's time. We're good. We can do these. We can do the Batmobiles. They'll get less heat.
It seems like
Them is some ugly cars.
Yeah, it's not practical.
Well, this is happening like way late, right? Like the hype between. I remember when that movie.
It's like everybody can own the General Lee from Dukes of Hazzard. It's like, well, we're already through that. It was racist. We changed the flag.
Well,
no more.
When the Dark Knight came out, I remember like, it's the new version
with
of
the
the
big
Batmobile.
Tires, right?
Yeah, it was like a
It's like a tank.
It's like a fat.
It's like a military vehicle. Like
not that pussy Batmobile with the fins on it.
Yeah.
Fins on it like a 1950s. What are you going to sock up? What are you going to take
You a Batmobile, like you got a drop top. Like, come on, bro.
Yeah.
Like, you ain't learned that from you.
The original Batmobile looks like a 6'4" Impala.
Yeah.
It literally, like, needs some spokes on it.
It looked like 20,000 leagues under the sea bubbles that you go into the water.
I just wonder, like, if they had this in real life on the streets, like, if I ordered, like, Uber XL and it pulled up, like, how would I feel? Or, like, if this is this type of thing that can only be put in, like, a museum, do somebody drive this? Are you dropping off your kid at soccer practice in the Batmobile? Like, what do you do if you had $10 million to buy a Batmobile? It's not your only car.
They're never nice, though. They're never, and what I mean by that is these production cars, they're always like on the exterior looks cool for like shots and stuff.
Oh,
but the interior of it's always like, well, we steer it with the controller from, like, it looks like that submarine that died. You know, it's like
you got a turn key.
Yeah, we steer it with a Nintendo controller, the original Nintendo.
You're inside of it, and you're like, whoa, this thing has missiles, and you're like, that's just a sticker.
There's nothing.
Like nothing actually does anything the Batmobile does. It just is essentially a working movie prop.
Yeah.
So like,
oh wow.
And it'll run, but it's like it has to run off diesel.
And it's slow.
It's
very slow.
Yeah. It's so heavy.
You know what?
And you gotta like reverse like this. You still gotta do the.
Yeah. You know what I would do?
There's no rear view.
Because I still don't understand what this place is, and I think it would fit in perfectly there. I would donate it to Deezerland. Because I don't know what Deezerland is. I don't know what it does.
What is that spot?
No one knows. No one knows what it looks. I think if I pulled up with a Batmobile, they'd be like, "We've been waiting for you."
That is like the most. It's the weirdest indoor outdoor mall.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's like, do you want glow in the dark golf and a Batmobile? Yes, I do. Well, you got it.
Is it D-head Deezers? No. It means nothing. Someone's last name.
Have you ever been there? You ever been to Deezerland?
Yeah, my family took me there for my birthday.
Okay.
Of all things.
All right. What'd you think?
And
hold on.
Did you beat it in Deezers?
Hold on. Your family thought that Vince Taylor.
Nothing says Vince Taylor like Deezerland.
Hold on. Yeah. Look, I want everybody watching this, and I know that a lot of people listen, but if you're watching this, look at Vince Taylor.
He does not look like a Deezer. You don't look like a Deezer
and
to
then
me.
think about his family. Like, you know what Vince Taylor will want?
Deezer is an old dickhead white guy, right? That's a Deezer.
The Deezerland.
Is that true?
No, Tom made that up.
There's the Bass Pro Shop, some vintage cars. There's a burnout front ruckers.
I'm not doing this with you. Yo. I literally don't know. Like, you walk in and you don't know what to do. You're like, all right, do I get a hot dog?
Nobody even there knows what to do. They're like, we have.
Okay, back to Marvel, Vince.
Yeah.
Because I want to ask you this.
Yeah, we have limited time with Vince, so.
So I was looking at other movies that are coming out, and I stumbled upon a new Avengers movie. And then I was like, oh, new Avengers? And this one's called Doomsday, right? Avengers Doomsday. And I was like, what? There was already an Endgame.
Yeah, they're like wrestling, like Starrcade, Bash at the Beach.
And then I'm like,
WrestleMania.
Is it all just going to be end of the world and
Judgment Day?
So why
is it
Last Dance?
Is it messing with you that Endgame has something after it? It's like Never Ending Story Part 2. Like, it doesn't make sense. Like, how is there a Part 2
what's
if it
this
ended
one
in the
called?
first place?
Doomsday?
It's called Doomsday, but I was like, we already saw the end game, and then
that's
we
the
got
end
that.
of that game.
But
that game's over.
It's a new game now, and this
is a whole new
game.
game.
Very doomish.
Yeah, but when you theme the Avengers like the end of
so
time,
you're starting to see my side.
and then just come up. Why not do something?
You're starting to see my side
newer
of how uncreative and dumb a lot of this stuff is.
So Vince, what is Doomsday?
Okay, so point taken. Endgame definitely was the end of an era. Understood that. I mean, I'm speaking just in general terms. Endgame was the finale of a phase. Marvel puts out their movies in phases, right? So Endgame, if I'm not mistaken, was the end of phase 3 for Marvel. And then they go into phase 4, which included the multiverse. And the first 3 phases were all about, for the most part, Thanos. And so the end game was the game of Thanos wanting to go ahead and take out half of the population of the entire universe because, hey, ain't enough space. We ain't all gonna make it, you know what I'm saying? So BM. Now they move forward from that. And here's the problem, Tom. Doomsday is a bit of a scramble to get something together in the event of a tragedy, which was Jonathan Majors having his big issue with the white woman that he was messing with. Excuse me, the one. Well, she was white. She was a white woman, and he was messing with her. So that's true.
Vince, you can say anything. You can say cracker-ass cracker. You can say hockey.
I would have liked it better if you said cracker-ass cracker, because that's
what Tommy said. Yeah, because I mean, the whole thing was, I ain't trying to, side with domestic violence, but I mean, she clearly, chased after him. If you watch the videos, and I mean, he tried to get himself out of the situation, but maybe it was too late by that point. But yeah, you should never put your hand on a woman. Let's just go ahead and say that. But as a result of that whole thing, the entire Phase 5 was supposed to be based around that Kang character. Even the Kang dynasty, there were multiple Kangs. But since that public relations nightmare, they had to switch gears and go to a completely different character. And where they go to what works, which is Robert Downey Jr. So you're sitting there talking about this new Avengers movie with Doomsday, but they're recycling their stars, and they're going to use Tony Stark. Well, he's not Tony Stark now. He's going to be, I guess he's supposed to be Victor Von Doom.
Are they going to?
This is still Robert Downey Jr. They just gave him some. I mean, he's literally like playing the whole dude from Tropic Thunder. I don't know if you remember when he was a black guy, but he was a white guy. Like, they're doing the whole switcheroo thing.
Yeah.
So I don't know if we're really feeling it.
Are they making him be like? Is it a multiverse where he is Tony Stark and he becomes Doctor Doom, or is?
I bet that's it. Yeah.
Like he becomes an evil Tony Stark.
That is yet to be seen. We don't know. We can speculate. That's the fun of it with Marvel. I mean, as long as their productions are good, I would assume that's more than likely the case since we are still in the multiverse. But hopefully this is the end, because the multiverse has caused Marvel a lot of problems, if I'm being honest. Like, the fact that nobody is really dead now is a little bit disconcerting. Like, you want some people to actually die. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
They killed Loki 3 times, bro. You know what I'm saying? And then some of the characters that you really want, you're like, oh, they're dead. Oh, for real? So Captain America is gone. Scarlet Witch is gone.
Yeah.
Like,
personally,
they're gone.
Personally, I want Rocket Raccoon gone. I want him dead. Yeah, I hate him. He's stupid.
But
I want to make a hat out of him. I'll wear him as a hat.
but
you're not gonna wear Rocket. You're not Davy Crockett.
I'll wear Rocket. I'll be Rocket Crockett. That's what I'm called. I'll be a whole new. Put me in the multiverse. I'm a little dad that lives in Orlando who just happens to accidentally kill Rocket Raccoon. I make a hat out of him, and they gives me, and then I got a big gun or something. I don't know. I'm just shooting.
Why would you want to skin the only Guardians of the Galaxy member that you can look in
freak
the
out.
eye.
I kill him accidentally, right? I back over him in my car. I just back over.
Like
It was full self-driving. It just backs over this raccoon.
You're not gonna make roadkill out of a Guardian of the Galaxy, bro. Let's go ahead. Let's cut the cap on.
Well,
let's cut it.
See, that's the thing about starting up with multiverse is that once you went multiverse, now you have an infinite amount of stories and storylines, which is kind of a cheating and a little bit of a cop out. But they're like, who cares? We are a multi-billion-dollar corporation, and we need to put these. So we're gonna save money by Robert Downey Jr. being Doctor Doom
We
and
got a
Iron
budget
Man.
Doom. We got budget Doom.
He's gonna be fighting himself in the future, and
we'll just use AI. We'll just do AI Doctor Doom.
And if you want Captain America back, guess what? We'll have what was the guy that could make the circle portals?
Oh,
Doctor Strange.
Crazy.
We'll have Doctor Strange. He'll go into a different alternative universe where Captain America didn't decide to get old and live his life with his girlfriend. He decided to be Captain America, and we'll bring him back because they can do whatever they want, right?
And I'm sure one of these universes, like Wakanda, is all white. And like he's White Panther, it's a whole I bet you there's some place where things is just not going the way they are going on Earth. So they're going to explore these universes. I want to see some of the crazy stuff too.
Panther.
That was the whole joke with the multiverse. There's a pig Spider-Man. There's infinite universes.
You know the funny thing about Spider-Ham, Peter Porker. You know he's actually a spider that was bitten by a pig.
That's pretty funny. I remember I still have some issues of the original Spider-Ham, Peter Porker. That was my generation of them making fun of it, but still doing actual full comic books about it.
Vince, before we run out of time, I did see this, and this is coming out in October of next year, 2025. So we got a while.
Is it going to be spooky?
It's Marvel Zombies.
I'm into that.
And I saw that, and I was like, what is that?
I'd be into that.
So do you have any idea what this is?
Yeah, well, Marvel Zombies is a spinoff, and I'm going to be honest, it's one of those Otherworld comic book series where it doesn't really have any relevance to the main stories, so it's kind of like one-offs. They did give a glimpse of it. If you watch season 2 of What If, there was a zombie episode. I'm not honestly really looking that forward to the zombie stuff unless they give us a really, really crazy villain like they did in What If. But Marvel Avengers and these characters have taken on like Galactus and Thanos and people that are larger than the planet Earth. And now we're dealing with dead people that don't have brain. I mean, it just doesn't, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't. So I can't wait to see what they say about it. But in all honesty, it's something that we have to wait to see what it is that they really do with that project. But it'll be animated, so we have to, I don't think you have to worry about
Tom hates cartoons.
He's
like, that's for pussies. Yeah, I get it.
I thought this was a direct result to the popularity of the last Doctor Strange, where they had who's that famous director of horror movies? They had him direct the
Sam Raimi.
Okay,
he's huge
because it was like a zombie movie at the end where they get zombie Doctor Strange and and people liked it and they did a good job.
He did a good job with that.
And then I thought, they're gonna, because they were so popular, they're just gonna do a whole zombie. Because that genre still makes money. People go see
Call
a
of
zombie.
Duty. I'm playing the new Call of Duty. You're running around. Next thing you know, you're fighting zombies. I'm like, God damn it. I thought we got
I love it.
I get sick of zombies, and they scare me sometimes, Vince. And I thought I was going to do some good old-fashioned shooting up Saddam's palace. Next thing you know, I'm in there shooting up Saddam's palace, and they gas me, and now everybody's zombies. And now I'm fighting zombies.
Is Saddam's palace really on there?
Yeah, you see the toilet and you're shooting, and there's pictures of Saddam everywhere, and it's crazy. It's a good game. What is it? Black Ops 6? Not bad. It's free right now.
You could build any hiding space in the world. You had unlimited money, and you chose a hole in the front of your palace. That's always, I was always mad at that. Like you had.
I always thought it was brilliant. He was right there, right under their nose, and he'd grown a full bushy porn beard.
Like you couldn't have a helicopter take you to something, like what? I thought there would be some place where the ultra bad guy.
I also want to point out how happy my dad was they found Saddam. I think my dad is. I've seen my dad dance around.
And how come these terrorists they never bring a set of clippers when they go hide out. They always look so befuddled
grow it out
whenever they come out them hoes, bro. Like,
you
keep yourself shaped up a little bit. You know you finna get the public execution. Can you at least look right for it? Is your drawers clean?
You don't think about Just for Men when you got your beret on, but when you're in the dirt hole, you don't Just for Men nothing.
Real quick, what's Thunderbolts? I saw that on the list too.
Thunderbolts is kind of like the Marvel version of Suicide Squad a little bit. All right. You know, Suicide Squad is a bunch of felons, basically. They're locked up. They have no right to walk the streets. But oh man, their name is escaping me right now. But the young you know, it's gonna come as soon as we get off here. But the young lady who watches over them, they put something in their necks so that they have to complete missions, so that we can actually get them to do things that are off the books. And if you go astray, then we can just blow you up. So this Thunderbolts is similar to that. It's a bunch of misfit heroes, i.e. Bucky from who's also known as the Winter Soldier. We've got the Red Guardian. We've got Yelena who's Black Widow's sister. We've also got the Taskmaster, who frankly is a Spider-Man spinoff. And I don't normally speak on, you know, gender and race changes and stuff like that, but it was a little weird that she, you know, that it was revealed to be the woman that it was. A woman, fine, but she was like slender and weak and all that. And Taskmaster's a real badass, so it was just kind of weird to see that. And a bunch of other characters, including Baron Zemo, who normally led it in the comics. Now, they're all basically half-ass heroes. They're not really like the actual, they're the misfit type heroes. And so the purpose of this is kind of a band of misfits who don't really, they're all anti-heroes. And so when they come together to kind of like clean things up, the interesting part about this, and I'll try to be brief on this, Thunderbolts were originally created in the comics to try to round up the superheroes that would not sign the Sokovia Accords, so that they actually were not allowed to have superpowers without being registered, which is what the whole Captain America Civil War. Man, I feel like I go full geek when I be like,
no, I like that.
Tommy gets where he's like, okay, you lost me.
No, that's good. But
that's what happened.
Yeah.
Well, listen, I don't need a bunch of people with laser eyes walking around my kids that I have no idea. I need them
I go into the bathroom. I tell my daughter to go in the ladies' room, and she's in there with some lady that's got 25 tentacles.
I don't need my kids using the same bathroom.
I'll tell you one, Spider-Man. I'll tell you what, Spider-Man. If you start using the restroom my daughter's using, you're gonna lose your web shooters.
Oh my God! Are we banning these?
I'll tell you right now, Fitz Taylor. If I go to Target and Maisie says I need to use the bathroom, and I catch Doc Ock in there, and Doc Octopus is in there, I'll tell you right now.
You said Doc Ock drinks Bud Light, and you're gonna boycott?
Who was the super good actor that played the original Dr. Octopus?
His name was Alfred Molina.
Yes, Alfred Molina. That's still my favorite villain that we ever had because the guy was such a good actor.
Was it the bad guy from No Country for Old Men?
Same haircut. Same haircut.
Well, he actually and odd observation. Alfred Molina was also the guy who betrayed Indiana Jones in the Raiders of the Lost Ark. If you recall, when the ball came down, it was rolling down, and then Indiana Jones was like, right before the ball ran down, he's like, yo, throw me the medallion. He's like, quick, we don't have time. Throw me the rope. He's like, throw me the medallion. He throws me the rope. He's like, adios, amigo. And then he goes to the next room, and he's like, he got spiked through the head. Sorry, random fact.
No,
those are things that I'm known for.
That's good. That's good.
So one last movie I saw in here that I saw Spider-Man 4 is coming out, and then Ironheart in June. What's Ironheart?
Oh, well, don't worry about it. It's a girl. You don't want to hear nothing about that. That's not a reality.
It's like Iron
But
Man.
Ironheart, just a quick for those who don't misogynize away their project.
Yeah.
I'm getting a call. The actual Ironheart is based on a young lady named Kiki
Shepard.
Riri Williams.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Kiki Shepard.
Riri Williams.
Man, if it were Kiki Shepard, I would tune in because Kiki Shepard made me a young boy. He made me a man.
Oh, she did? Oh,
Yeah,
for real?
I used to
Like,
watch
okay, 'cause
Apollo.
I think-
I used to watch Night at the Apollo every night at midnight. Oh my God, those
Yeah,
big,
you was
beautiful
tuning in
dudes.
for these, right?
Yeah,
That's
I
what it
was
was.
indeed.
You like to see Kiki. Yeah, okay. Well, it's not Kiki Shepard. It's Riri Williams, all right? And she's a minor, so calm down. Actually, I think she's in college in this series. She was in Wakanda Forever, but in the comics, she's known as the young prodigy at 14, which was able to duplicate Stark Tech, all right, on her own.
I know
And
this story.
my daughter... Yeah, my daughter and I had her cosplay as Riri Williams like 10 years ago, like way before they even started discussing these projects, because it was so astounding in the comics that they were releasing a young black American woman who was smarter than Tony Stark and was known to be the next. So basically, this Ironheart, you're going to see Riri Williams start to develop herself into being a potential, not replacement, but some sort of stand-in for Tony Stark. Him and her and War Machine probably going to work together. Look forward to that. But talking about the Spider-Man movie, hella excited about this time, because check it. This is the time in which we're going to start integrating the different companies that own Spider-Man rights, right? So right now, Sony owns the rights to Spider-Man, but they've given some to the MCU with Marvel Studios. Stay with me. That's why you see Spider-Man 3 with actually Andrew Garfield, Tobey Maguire, the original OGs, but those characters, Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield, are owned by Sony, not actual Marvel Studios. Stay with me. Now, the newest Spider-Man movie installment is called Enter the Spider-Verse. That has animated characters playing Spider-Man. This next Spider-Verse, the final installment of the trilogy, the Spider-Verse, I think it's not Far From Home, it's Something Home. They're going to finally end that saga so that they can bring in a live-action version of Miles Morales, who's the young black and Latino Spider-Man. So in Spider-Man 4, we'll finally start to see Tom Holland start to pass the baton from him being the Spider-Man that we've known to Spider-Woman, more than likely. I wonder which Spider-Woman they're going to go with. But probably the one that they have in because they made a new black one in Enter Spider-Verse. And, of course, Miles Morales. The question is, on the Nerdverse, who will be the one chosen to play Miles Morales? Because whoever that is going to carry Marvel for the next 10-something years. And that is a huge question.
I was really hoping we would get to this point, because there have been people kicked around for years about who should play Miles. Because he is, in my opinion, as a 48-year-old man who enjoys comics, casually, I think that's the future, because it is. That guy is a guy that your boys, I know for a fact they like that character. Maisie likes that character. Everybody likes that character. That's the guy. Man. So who plays it? What's his age? Yeah, I mean, we have some guys that would have been great, but they've aged out by now.
Yeah, so many have aged out. Right now, the Eye of Mordor is on Renzi Felix, excuse me. He actually played in a Marvel show called The Runaways, and he's also in The Penguin. He plays Victor. Now, the reason why some like Renzi is because he is black and Latino. I think he's Dominican, not Puerto Rican like Miles, but he kind of resembles the character. Yeah. Some people in the black community, however, are a little cautious about the colorism that exists in the black community. They want to make sure that Miles Morales maintains the shade of skin, his complexion that he had in the movies, and not get too lightened, because there's some people that believe that lighter is better. When it comes to Hollywood, some folks are like,
Tommy says that all the time. Turn the lights on in here. Brighter is better.
I was gonna say, bring back Wesley Snipes.
That's the thing too,
dude. Let's do old Miles, old grumpy Miles. Miles don't pay Uncle Miles. Uncle Miles.
Uncle Miles hates taxes.
Tax evasion, Miles.
We're out of time.
Before we leave, I just found it right here. December 2025. It's going to be my favorite Marvel movie of all time. Wonder Man.
Wonder Man.
That's a
Wonder
show.
Woman. Oh, it's a show?
Yeah. It's a show. Yeah, it's going to be a show on Disney Plus. Yeah. And Wonder Man's he's got a lot. It's kind of crazy. And don't let me go down this rabbit hole, because Wonder Man at one point in time was like Mr. Captain Marvel, and like there's a whole other rabbit hole. So yeah, look forward to that. But it's not Wonder Man as in like an answer for Wonder Woman.
I want to see it. I want to see. You know what I would do if I were Wonder Man? I would get naked and I'd fly around in my invisible jet, so everybody'd have to see my beehole.
Would you go to the bathroom? Or would you
No. I wouldn't go not in my own jet. but I would when I go to sit down. I would part my cheeks.
Yo, would you? What would you go? Would you like hover over like the Orlando City Soccer game?
No, I'd be doing circles around.
naked?
I'd be doing circles around iHeart, just saying, like, "Look at me, Jack. Look at me."
You know what I miss? I miss the joke about Wonder Woman flying around.
You know what's this? What's this? What's this? You ever see this joke? I'm doing a hand joke. What's it? What's this? That's Superman. That's Superman flying over a nudist colony.
Yo, oh my God, nah, bro. Well, that's impressive.
That's his ding dong hanging down. My dad told me that joke.
That's impressive.
My dad told me
that. Before I go,
I
did want to mention.
What do you call Dolly Parton doing the backstroke? Islands in the stream.
Come on.
Yo,
go ahead.
So right before I go, I just wanted to say that I did have an interesting experience just before by the way, the election happened, and I gotta say I'm extremely disappointed. I'm disappointed in Florida for not legalizing marijuana.
Yeah,
I don't know what's wrong with
I
it.
was waiting to see what you were saying.
It's the second time. And Trump supported it, which means there's people that voted for Trump and against the weed, and I really do not understand it. Yeah. So y'all gotta tell me, let me know what's going on, bro. Like, why y'all do this?
You saw the commercials. I'll be walking down the road.
That's what Grady Judd told me.
Yeah, it smells like weed everywhere. Grady Judd has a little doll. He has a doll of himself now.
Vince, I think it's just the result of the fact that all of us have weed already. There's a weed store in every.
Man, and I got a gram in my pocket right now, Vince.
You go to the weed doctor. You guess what? You don't need nothing. You just go there and then you pay your $100 and they give you a license and you can go buy unlimited. Well, there's kind of a limit, but the limit is so gigantic.
I don't know.
But why not recreational? Like, why not make it so that, it can become.
Like, you can go right now to Chronic Guru and you don't need a card and you walk in there and they just give you free weed and you just smoke it wherever you want. And then if a cop sees you, he's not.
They don't care. The cops don't care.
Yeah, because you bought it legally at Chronic Guru.
The cops told me, they're like, we don't care unless you know.
Well, that's not the one that took me to jail.
You know we care.
Well, I think that we need to do better, Florida. So, I mean, I don't know what it is, but I'm going to keep doing what I've been doing. But damn, man, it'd be nice if we can actually be able to walk into a store without a card and just be like, yo, let me get an eighth of this and eighth of that, and not have to worry about whether or not my card is expired. So come on, man. Plus, industry, guys. Let's think about the kind of freaking tourism it's going to cause. This, anyway.
The last point.
I don't know why no one voted in. It seemed like no one cares about weed. Everybody's like, hey, you care about weed? No, I don't. Do whatever you want. Like, no, I've never even met. I haven't met someone in the past 10 years that has literally told me they cared about anybody's weed or what. Like, now it seems like more business-wise that maybe it's something way more complicated, and then it's like that's why they're not ready for. I don't know.
Yeah, it's above what we know.
Either way, like right when that happened, like before the election, I don't know if y'all saw this, but this dude named Tony Hinchcliffe got on a rally stage and told some jokes about Puerto Ricans.
Yeah, he said
some of which I'm sure
he said there was a garbage dump.
Yeah. I call him Trash Island Hinchcliffe.
Yeah. I watched the set.
Yeah.
Now, here's the funny thing about that. Like, I don't know if y'all know, but I'm on tour. I do tour. I don't say I'm on tour, but I do go on the road with Cam Patterson and David Jolly. We just David Jolly and Cam, we all just did Sacramento together. This is right after Tony, and Tony is the reason why Cam and David have kind of gone up to where they are right now. I don't know if y'all watched Kill Tony or not.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah, extremely familiar.
We talked to Jolly about it. Yeah.
So it's a big deal. So it's so funny because when it happened, my family starts calling me about how bad this is, and I had the misfortune of having to inform them that I can't really be too mad because this dude put money in my pocket.
Yeah, he's got you out on the road. Yeah, and he fills the seats too. That's the thing. If
every
you want
show
a guy
is sold out.
Yeah, he's gonna fill the seats and tell jokes, and that's what he did there. And
yeah. And sometimes the jokes are offensive. That's what jokes are.
Yeah, I mean that
they
whole
are.
thing was all drawn up by design, and everyone knew what they were doing with that.
Yeah, now whether or not it belonged in like politics, probably that's a
different thing to talk about.
I don't know, but him telling jokes is like that's what comedians do. So to me, I don't know. It's one of those things.
You know him. I mean, you work with him, so you know him.
Yeah, he's a funny guy. I just had to kind of play around with it because you couldn't avoid it. So, all I did was tell everybody, hey, look, there's a dude out there saying Puerto Rico is a floating pile of trash. And everybody got mad about it. Everybody disagreed except for the Mexicans. Not damn Mexican come out to disagree with the Puerto because they can't stand each other. And that definitely got some applause when I was in Sacramento.
Oh, well, the Cubans and the Puerto Ricans, that's what I know, don't get along.
Yeah.
I grew up in Miami.
It's too hard
and
to
the
tell.
Cubans tell me, they're like, the Puerto Ricans are up north, and we stay apart from each other.
And
the Puerto Ricans, they say the Cubans are down south. They don't come up here.
Right, like it as a basic white. I don't know who's fighting. I don't know who's warring with each other. I mean, I love everybody.
Do you? Okay. All right.
Well, I mean, we'll talk later. Well, my man, thanks so much.
Because you didn't seem to like Rocket.
No, I don't like raccoons. Never have. Hey, thank you so much for doing this, man. We appreciate you being on the show. You got any shows coming up soon?
Yeah, actually, I think I have a few seats left, but it's going real fast for my local. I tend to do every year that Bonkers show downtown Orlando at the corner. So definitely bring a bulletproof vest just in case. But yes, December 6th and 7th, I will be at the corner at Bonkers Orlando. Get your tickets on bonkerscomedy.com.
There you go.
And definitely all Tom and Dan fans get in free if you mention my name and sneak in through the back.
There you go.
Well, Vince, we love you, man.
Thank you, man. We appreciate it.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.